Oh, really?
Yeah, back in the 90s. And
Oh, that's dope.
yeah, so I used to visit New York from Haiti,
Yeah.
and then and then he used to push this fucking little. My uncle had this like little Mazda,
Yeah.
little shitty little thing, and it was fucking, in the back, bro, hella fucking mixtape, bro. Go and fucking post on different blocks in Harlem, bro. I would be this kid from Haiti, with my cousin. I was like, oh,
Yo, there's apps where you could download the same mixtapes that was out
That
on,
was
like
that.
like DJ K Slay, like
Yeah,
all those
yeah.
fucking old mixtapes. I love them shit,
bro,
bro. At the
chill.
flea market.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Bro, for $30, you could have like there was so many fucking songs on the fucking albums, bro. There's like 50 tracks.
Absolutely. You can't even. I don't even think you can really YouTube them things, because that shit was like so fucking way back.
I remember there was an app, but after the app, I haven't really looked at it again. I was thinking about New York mixtapes the other day. I was like, damn. Because that was a wave right there.
That was
for sure.
a wave.
That was a wave.
Man.
I was like, damn.
That DJ drama.
Yeah,
like
you talking to school about it. DJ Clue. Desert Storm.
Come on, man.
Okay, we're here. We're starting this fucking show. Sucio Talked. Sucio Talked. Chef Stephane St. Louis and this motherfucker.
Yes, sir.
TCP.
Uh-huh.
Provisions, table culture. Let's go. Petaluma.
Yes,
What's up,
sir.
man?
Hey, man.
How's Petaluma treating you, bro?
Petaluma's nice.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can't front.
Yeah. That's dope.
Nice.
That's dope, man. Has the community welcomed you in your restaurant, bro?
Yeah. We've been in Petaluma. I mean, as a chef, I've been in Petaluma since 2008.
Yeah.
So working for Della Fattoria.
Yeah.
Big well-known bakery, Kathleen Weber. One of the goats in, this sourdough bread thing, since the 90s. And so I was fortunate to work, for them. And I just, again, I was just this young kid, from Haiti, and coming in and working in a big-ass kitchen with a sick-ass bakery.
Yeah.
Back of the house is like 6 times bigger than the front of the house.
Yeah.
And, they really took me under their wings, and then so introduced me to the proper people, around town, the community. And, very proud of my work. So, so always kind of like, I always felt like Petaluma was home.
Yeah.
And so even when I was a sous chef and, really sous chef, maybe CDC, if you want to say, it was never really, besides a sous chef title, because of Erin Weber, her son, who, basically an under master baker.
Yeah.
And so, so when I launched TCP, it was a pretty smooth transition, and then plus we did that thing during COVID.
Yeah.
So we're like COVID babies.
Right. Do you think that helped you a little bit? Because it was like calm.
Oh, bro, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, no one wanted to do anything.
Right.
It's either if you're working, you're getting unemployment. If you own a business, you're getting PPP. Motherfuckers ain't working.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to the madness, of things. And so, and I saw a way, I was like, yo, while everybody's down, man, that's the thing, right? As chefs, and I say, even as cooks, period, like that's our job, right? It's like feed the people. And I was like, bro, people gotta eat, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, KFC, McDonald's, I don't know if you remember during COVID, those were like the happening, right? It's like, oh, the mom and pops, like going down, but those big corporation.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, KFC doing it? All right, bro. Like, we're Petaluma, chicken, eggs, flour, central meal down the street. I'm like, bro, you guys like fried chicken? Let's get some fried chicken on the menu, man.
Right.
Fried chicken and put some hip hop on, some good Cooperage beer. I was like, let's go.
That's it, baby.
Hey, listen, man. If you're into the 3-course thing, so we were putting this little bundle package, like 3-course, fried chicken menu, $48, feed the family.
That's dope.
Let us while you're figuring out, the chaos in the world, let us feed you.
Yeah.
And so people got into it. Yeah, I mean, bro, when I launched my first pop-up, we did the first pop-up, and we sold 48 tickets in 48 hours.
Damn.
And I was like, oh, shit, okay.
People just wanted to go out.
Yeah, man. I mean, no, it's not even, people wanted something different.
Yeah.
Than everything else, So there was this couple, they had this restaurant called Wishbone. you know, if you know Petaluma, it's Three Cooks Cafe.
Yeah.
Which was like really like a very, very old, you know, a restaurant space, if you want to call it, you know. And so, yeah, so which one was in there, and then, you know, so I knew those guys, and, you know, they were kind of like going through the same thing, you know, the same chaos of the world. And so I was like, yo, listen, dude, like, what's up? What are you guys doing? Are you guys okay? Do you need help?
Yeah.
Let me help you pay the bills around here, you know. Let me chip in the rent. Let me help you with the water. Let me do this little pop-up here every Sunday night.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, all right, Steph, bet. You know, if you want to do it, come in. And so, but mind you, I had met them at Della. So those are people that I used to work with Della. And so I was like, and she was like, all right, yo. So her name was Miriam. She was like, yeah, all right, dude, like, shit, fuck it, man. Come do your thing.
Right.
So, so I was like, okay, you know, we TCP, got on legal Zoom, created the LLC, and then got a Square account, got an Instagram account, and the next thing you know, so fried chicken pop-up dinners, you know, pick up at Wishbone, you know, feeds to $48, you know, doesn't break the bank, nothing, so every Sunday night. So first ticket, you know, like I said, like 48 dinners in 48 hours. So I was like, all right, bet. You're running up the next weekend. Same shit. The following weekend, and then we went out for a month. And then after that, I'm like, okay, well, shit, do we switch up a little bit, see, you know, what we can do? I'm like, all right, well, I'm like, what else people like, right? I'm like, okay. I used to work, you know, my first stage was as a Ritz-Carlton in Palm Springs. Actually, it wasn't the Ritz-Carlton, it was the Lodge at Rancho Mirage.
The Lodge at Rancho Mirage. Yeah. Was that like the dopest shit in Palm Springs?
It had to be, because I guess that's where like all NBA players,
celebrities
would stay there. You know, I was fortunate enough to like, you know, meet. I didn't meet, but like, you know, I saw like Cameron Diaz when they were like, she was dating with Justin Timberlake,
right,
from paparazzi
back in the day.
Yeah, running to the kitchen.
Oh, really? That's crazy. That's funny.
Yeah. So, you know, I just remember. So, you know, that was my very first kitchen job, and I just remember they used to do these like prime rib dinners, you know, and you know, prime rib, mashed potatoes, Caesar salad, lobster bisque, you know, creme brulee. You know, I'm like, and so, you know, fast forward, I'm like, yo, all right, fried chicken. I'm like, all right, I know motherfuckers love that shit. It's like, bro, let's see what's up with that.
Yeah.
You know, prime rib, creme brulee, potato gratin, you know, a Caesar salad. Oh, tickets are flying out.
Yeah.
And then so maybe about like 2-3 months in, and then they're like, all right, guys, like, what's up with this? And then so I'm like, yo, as a matter of fact, you know, can I pick up another night? You know, and she's like, oh, sure. You know, what do you want to do? I'm like, well, you're not doing dinner, so I'll do Saturday night. So we did that. And then so we ran that for another month, and then came back, and it was like, yo, you know, what's up with your brunch program? You know, like, are you trying to do brunch? Or it's like, nah, you know what? If you want it, you can have it. It's like, sure, I'll take it. Next thing you know, I'm like, yo, can I just take all your shifts? And I'll just pay the bills in there. And so they're like, well, shit, dude, like, you know, you're pretty motivated, and it looks like you want to fucking do it. So, you know, just do your thing, you know, just pay us the money.
Here's the spot, bro.
Here's the spot, you know. So it was me, my business partner, Stephane, and my wife, Marta.
Okay.
And then so it was the three of us, you know, and then they had some cooks and some front of the house that we took on also. And then, so we started running this brunch. So then things kind of like started opening a little bit during the COVID, where it's like only outdoor, but 6 feet distancing. But this fool had a fucking fat ass patio in the back. Yeah. With like, you know, garden, and, you know, you can sit on the edge or whatever. And so we're like, all right. So it was me, Stephane, and my wife as an expo. Yeah. In the kitchen. Next thing you know, we're doing like 120 covered brunches. And then so, I mean, we're just slaying that thing. And then until one day, you know, I think it was like on a Monday or on a Tuesday, and I see like top 25 brunch in the Bay Area. Right. Table Culture Provisions. I'm like, oh, word is out, you know, word is out. I was like, hey, you know, I think at the time, like, I believe it was like Solejo that was kind of like, you know, doing the Chronicle thing at the time, and which I think I met, because one time, you know, kind of like caught her in the back, and I caught someone sitting in the back, you know, and then she was like kind of like talking about how funky she liked it, and how, you know, there was like you know, these like high school yellow chairs. You know, I mean, it was really, really funky, you know. I just had dinner before I came here at Snell Bar.
Yeah.
And so I was like, bro, it's like a Snell Bar in Petaluma. You know, really like funky. I don't give a fuck.
How was Snail Bar?
It was great. It was great. It was great. It was great. It was
That's
great.
cool. I bet they were pumped to have you.
Yeah. It was first time I've been.
Oh, dope.
And yeah, I mean, you know, I was coming out here and I was like, I didn't know what traffic was like. I was like, oh, you know what? Let me just, you know, hit the town a little early.
That's dope. That's like the fourth person who's done that before they come here. I'm like, I'm happy that they're probably like, yeah, I'm going to do Sucio Talk.
Yeah, I told her. Yeah, you know, so Andreas came up to the table. He was like, yo, TCB? I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, shit, motherfucker know me? All right.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
And he's like, what are you doing here? I was like, I'm going to Sucio. He's like, oh, all right. so he gave me the quick little rundown about, you know, the first time he came here.
Yeah.
So I was like, he's like, so get ready. I was like, yeah, it'll be good, man.
Yeah, so, that's funny. That's funny.
But yeah, that's basically what, you know, kind of like, you know, the feel of that place was.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, man. So this came out, and the next thing you know, Sumo magazine, you know, which has been a big, you know, fan of us, you know, if I could say that. You know, next thing you know, it's like, yo, what's up, man? What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And that's what we were. But mind you, bro, like, I mean, we're running this thing, you know, at this point as a business, we're set up. But then we don't have any liquor license. We don't have, anyways. I've done some. You
got to do what you got to do, bro.
Hey, bro, listen, man, we done some shit. We got creative. We got
especially
creative.
In California, man.
Exactly. We got creative with the process.
Motherfuckers don't make it easy, man.
Come on, you know, we got very creative with the process. And then, so then they're like, okay, so, you know, what's up, man? Like, what are you guys trying to do? You know, you guys just want to take it? And I was like, yeah, you know, put a price. And so you know, so they shoot out a price. And then we're like, all right, well, let's kind of figure this thing out. And as we're going, so we keep running out the pop-up, things start opening up a little bit more. Now you can do indoor dining, so we're doing indoor, we're doing outdoor, no problem. And then you know, and then finally, so of course, right, again, so we're doing all this shit, right? So the landlord comes in.
Yeah.
The landlord was like, yo, who are these guys? So all these guys work for us. Right, that was their system. So
yeah,
I was like, all right. And then then she comes back and she's like, wait, how the fuck do they work for you when I see them all over the fucking SF Chronicle? And so like, you know, something is just not adding up, you know?
Right.
And so shit, I never lie, you know? I'm like, well, you know, he was like, yeah, you know, we're kind of like doing this thing. So he's like, this kind of like, it's not really a sublease technically because we don't have a contract, but you know, we're just running a bag. We're paying those guys and then they're paying you. But you know, but again, man, that's the power of food, you know, like the shit that we were doing, like when the landlord came in and they sat and they ate, they just didn't give a fuck. They was like, all right, well, you guys do what you got to do. You know, it's like your food is good. People are coming in. Rent is paid on time. We're not tripping.
Yeah.
You know, figure out your logistic between the businesses, whatever, but just, you know, just be careful. And so, you know, anyway, so long story short, you know, it's time to close the deal. And then, you know, shit started going south.
Yeah.
And now you're dealing with, like, you know, now the proper, right, like, health department, the contractors, you know, they're asking, like, you know, $1 million for this. You know, I mean,
yeah.
You know, not really $1 million, just to say, you know, just
might as well
shit ton of money, right?
Yeah.
And then we're like, all right, well, fuck, we can't do it. So, but in the mix of all that, you know, while we're doing all this shit, is like, you know, we had also find a partner, you know, who was, you know, who's a very good friend, you know, like we weren't friend. So again, it's a guy that like, anyway, I would have to to rewind kind of like, you know, back to like the origin of the story because like, so when we popped is that I was working at this place called the Shuckery, which is at the Hotel Petaluma, Oyster Bar. And so I left Della, I went to work for the Shuckery.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit. Right. So when COVID hit, like I was saying, February, March, I think my wife was from Poland. You know, my son was 2 years old. So my wife and my son flies to Poland to go meet my wife's family for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks. The day before they come back, that's when Trump shut down the border.
Oh.
Because of COVID. So then the family's stuck over there. for 8 months.
Damn, B.
So they're stuck over there. But, you know, we're like, okay, you're at home with your mom.
It's not the worst thing.
It's not the worst that can happen, you know? And so I'm like, all right, well, shit, you guys post up over there.
Party over here, motherfucker. Let's go.
We're going to figure this shit out over here, you know? So I'm like, you know, how much, you know, you really need money. You're not paying rent. You're at your mom's house. You know, we're not worried. And if you need money, let me know. So then stimulus checks started coming in. So the stimulus checks are coming in. So in the meantime, while they're coming in, you know, we're being, again, like I went into this thing where I'm like, yo, guys, like, you know, so I had this team and I'm like, okay, well, you know, people got to eat, right? I'm like, so what do you guys want to do? You just want to sit home and get fucking fat and not do anything, you know, watch TV and play video games all day, you know? I'm like, yo, let's kind of like, you know, develop our skills and see, you know, what are different things we can be good at, you know, and let's kind of like play into this, you know, let's see what this shit takes us. And, you know, because people do like CSA boxes and whatever. And so stimulus are coming in, you know, so we're not really getting paid from the job. And then so me and my buddies, Steven, my business partner, we just started collecting stimulus. So it's like, okay, not stimulus, but unemployment.
Yeah.
So each check, then I open a fucking Robinhood account. And what's popping is fucking Tesla. Each check that comes in, I go and I buy fucking Tesla shares. The money comes in, I buy Tesla. I call the fam, yo, you guys okay? Yep, we don't need money. We're good. Okay. I pay rent. The rest, Tesla shares. So I'm racking up Tesla shares. And at the time, I'm buying Tesla shares maybe at like, I don't know. I don't even remember anymore. You know, maybe $90, $100 a pop, you know? And then, no, maybe a little bit more. I'm not even sure anymore. But we're buying Tesla shares on both sides. And then 8 months later, bro, Tesla shares are like $2,500. And that's when Tesla starting to do what they call the split. So it's like the 4-to-1 split, right? 1 share equal 4, so shares going down. And so that's why I've been parking my money the whole time. So finally, family comes in and, you know, so then I had to, you know, do the whole, how you call that? When you had to stay in that room because, so they're coming out of the country. Quarantine.
Yeah.
So I got to do the whole quarantine thing. And I catch a cold, not COVID. I catch a cold. I get tested every time. I don't get COVID. I catch a cold when the family comes back. And, you know, and I'm chilling at the house. And then Steven, my business partner, you know, he goes and he sent me a text. And he's like, yo, what about this? And it's like a food truck. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's called La Bodega or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know, whatever, dude. Like, you know, then I go back and I think about it. I'm like, okay, food truck. And so, but at the time, the other thing that was happening is that bars, I don't know if you remember, if you had a bar, you couldn't sell alcohol unless you sold food.
Right.
Because you were doing the whole alcohol to go thing. So, you know, little I was like, oh, okay. So we knew a homie that had a bar in town who didn't have a kitchen. So I'm like, oh, shit, well, maybe we can call homeboy and be like, yo, listen, man, if we get this food truck, can I come park in the back of the bar? I sell food. That allows you to open your door and you can sell booze, right? I'll take the food money. You take the booze money. And he's like, okay, yeah, let's do that. You know, great idea. Let's do that. So I'm like, okay. So then we call the bodega. Yeah. And we're like, okay, yo, all right. So we're interested. You know, so I'm telling Steve, I'm like, yo, all right, let's fuck it. Let's go buy this food truck and see what's up. So, but then, you know, it's like this beat ass fucking food truck, right? And then they wanted like $60,000 for that shit. I'm like, bro, I got $60,000. So, you know, I'm over here. I still have those notes on my phone, bro. I'm like over here trying to like, you know, negotiate. So I have all these different type of like breakdown packages of like how I can make payments and that shit. And the guy's like, so I was like, nah, man. He's like, yo, listen, bro, just because you're a chef in town, like maybe you can split the payment in 3 months. And I'm like, okay, but you know, but even in 3 months, you know, I don't know how business is gonna go. You know, right? I'm like, all right, bro, whatever, you know. So, you know, so we kind of like stuck around the idea. So while this is happening, go back to the shuckery. So at the shuckery, as things were opening up, so, you know, we started this concept where we were now bringing the restaurant experience to your house.
Yeah.
Right. and so that was the thing. So basically now COVID, as things are opening up, there was this time where you could only basically you could only be indoor with your entourage. Right. So there was this thing happening. And then so we're like, okay, so get some friends, at your home, we'll come down, we'll fucking put the linen on the table, we'll get the fucking server, we'll do it. You know what I mean? I'm saying like, at this point, I'm like doing fucking beef Wellington and, things are a little bit attractive, so people, were kind of like prone to that. It's like, oh shit, all right, great idea. So, I got 20 people. Can you come to the house? Sure. So one day we go do this one in town, and it was a wedding, like an anniversary or whatever, and they invited a bunch of people. So, so anyway, so same menu, same vibe, same thing. So we go there, fat ass house, nice ass house, and we set up, so we do everything. And then a couple of days later, I post this thing on Instagram, because I was at the Shuckery again, right? Oyster, seafood. So I had this like nice little tuna crudo dish I had just done. And, so I posted on IG, my personal. And then this friend of mine, who's also a chef and business owner in town called Lunchette. And her name is Naomi. And then so Naomi, so she hits me on the thing and she's like, at, JF. He's like, yo, those are the guys that you're looking for. So I'm like, all right. So JF hits me up and he's like, hey dude, so on Saturday I was at this party. You guys came in and did this whole thing. I would love for you guys to be able to come to my house and do one for me, for me and my team.
Yeah.
And, mortgage, money guy, finance guy. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, bet, call the restaurant. And he's like, nah, I tried to call the restaurant, but she wasn't replying or whatever. My wife kind of hit up and I was like, okay, all right, well, let me go talk to her. And so, so I go to my boss and I'm like, hey, listen, such and such is trying to get a hold of us, to do this dinner for him.
Yeah. And,
are you, we should go and do it. So, but at that time too, things started kind of like reopening, right? So the restaurant is back and open and stuff like that. And so, and she's like, oh, I don't know, chef. Like, I don't know if I want to do it and blah, blah. I'm like, dude, like, we just did it, like, let's just fucking do it, know? And she's like, all right, well, if you want to do it, you can do it. But, things are reopening up a little bit. Maybe we should focus more on the restaurant. So I'm like, all right. But little she didn't know is that, due to other things that we had going on, I was already kind of like getting my own little shit going, with the food truck and all these things.
Oh, that's right. She was away for so long.
You're right. And so I'm doing my little thing, and then so anyway, so we go to JF's house, and then we do this fucking thing. And then, in my mind, it's like, oh, he's feeling himself, right? He's like, oh, great event, guys, and blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like, if you ever want to do this again, just hit me up or whatever. And he's like, oh, yeah, I know. And then so maybe 2-3 weeks later, he hit me up again. And he's like, dude, so I just rented this spot in this Airbnb in Napa called the White House Inn.
Yeah.
And I have it for the weekend. And I would love to do like, a formal tasting menu style dinner, for my staff. I'm like, oh, bet, we're there. And then so, so I end up seeing him. I'm like, yo, dude, JF just called.
Yeah.
We're going. I don't know how you're going to get out of work, bro, but you need to get out of work because we're fucking going. And so, bro, and then so we go, and then we fucking do this fucking amazing dinner. Great. And, my man just, pays us in this big ass stack of cash. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, okay, guys, great. And so, and of course, then he started following us, and then life happened, right? So then now I'm like, from the Shuckery, I'm like, okay, we want to do our own thing.
Yeah.
I'm launching kind of like, the little dinner pop-up thing, and things are kind of like happening or whatever. And then one night we're in the Wishbone spot and we're getting ready for dinner service. And then, so I make this post, and he's like, and then so JF hits me up and he's like, yo, what's up with that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I'm like, oh yeah, we're trying to do our own thing. And then my buddy Stephane, he's like, yo, that's what you're hitting. He's like, yo, if you want to eat as well as you ate the last time, that's when maybe you come in as a partner with us,
Yeah.
So I look at him like, that's so fucking corny, bro. And I'm like, oh, whatever, fuck it. So I fucking send him text. And then he replies, oh, I'm in. I'm like, oh shit, okay. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yo, I'm in. He's like, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, you want to meet Monday? He's like, sure. So he fucking pulls up on Monday, bro, with a blank check.
Yeah.
And he's like, put the check on the fucking dude. He's like, see, I'm in. So you guys tell me what the price is to do whatever you want to fucking do. Figure it out. And then he takes the check, he folds it, he puts it in his fucking wallet and put it in his back pocket. He's like, but that's yours. And then we're like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
And then so that's when
that's dope, man. That's a dope story,
so now we're moving to the wishbone thing.
Yeah,
and then we're like, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, we'll take it. It's like, fuck it, we'll take it. And then so they're like, oh, okay, all right, well shit, so we got the investor, we have all that, and so now we're gonna go through the things. And so anyway, so we go through the motion of things, and of course now come back with the health department. You bring kitchen designer. Well, this doesn't work, that doesn't work, this and that and a third and blah, blah. So next thing you know is like, now we have to buy a business.
Yeah.
On top of that, come up with the money to do all the renovation and shit like that. I don't like people playing with my money, so I don't play with people's money.
Right.
And I don't take that shit for granted, And then so when I see the fucking price, I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't know if I want to go ask this man for all this fucking money.
Right.
And then things started kind of like get a little hefty with the landlords, but not really because of us, but of course we had a play in it. But, the Wishbone folks started having some type of misunderstanding with the landlord.
Mm-hmm.
And then, bro, and then we're going through the motion of things. And then, and then we new businessman, don't know shit about opening up a restaurant, working restaurant. We know how the game works. But when it comes down to the business, the logistic, how do you set up things, right? We don't know, So we're over here like skipping steps and steps and steps, going to contract with this fucking contractor and getting ready to fucking do the work. We send a message to the landlord to let them know that we're doing the fucking work. And then, bro, we show up on the fucking Monday morning and there's a fucking red tag on the fucking door.
Yeah.
Cease and desist letter. And I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh,
I'm like, yo. So we fucking, and so anyway, I didn't even know what the fuck a cease and desist letter was, to be honest. But I knew the lawyer that was on there. And I'm like, whoa, shit, yo, let me call Reg. So I call her, and she's like, yeah, so what the fuck have you guys been doing? And then she just fucking going ham. And she's like, yeah, dude, like, I can't believe you guys are doing all this. I'm like, yo, Reg, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
And it's like, well, there's no insurance in the fucking place. There's no this. There's no that. And I'm like, okay, but we've been paying them this fucking money.
Right.
But, I mean, that shit just went ham, right? And they're like, no, you guys are not fucking allowed to come on this fucking property again until we resolve all issues.
Damn.
And then we're like, damn, okay, is that it? So we hit up JF.
Yeah.
He's in the business. And he's like, yeah, guys, fuck that. We're not going in there. And I'm like, fuck, okay. But mind you, bro, this entire time, this entire shit is happening, right? Right? This entire time, this entire shit is happening is that we go back to the fucking food truck.
Yeah.
When we can get the fucking food truck, every man would just be like, okay, maybe it's not for us. So I went to fucking, I don't know, like, Pleasantville or whatever, and there's like a community of fucking food truck over there.
Yeah.
So I go visit, and then so I'm looking at food trucks, and then the guys are like, well, these are too expensive. They have these massive ass fucking food truck. And then this guy is like, yo, here's a number, call this number, and then see how those people can help you out.
Yeah.
So I call this place, and it's in Sacramento, and it's called Golden Gate Trailers. So I call him, I'm like, yeah, I'm looking into getting a food truck. And it's like, well, okay, well, do you want a food truck or you want like a food trailer? And I'm like, what's the difference, right? It's like, well, a trailer doesn't come with the engine or whatever. I'm like, what's cheaper? Is that the trailer? I'm like, all right, let's get the trailer.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, can you come see the trailer tomorrow? I said, sure. So we fucking show up. It's a prototype trailer. And they're like, okay, well, you guys can choose X, Y, Z or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can basically put your shit together for what you needed, and it will help you with the whole thing. So we help you with the fire department, with the fucking health department, and all this nonsense. And so, and I'm like, okay, well, fuck, do you guys finance? And they're like, well, shit, yeah, if you got good credit, we do have a fucking bank you can finance with. And then so I'm like, okay, bet, you know. So we go and then we built this fucking trailer, you know, for like $60K, right? And, you know, and then we hit up, you know, the fucking banking. So we get approved, but they want $20,000 down.
Yeah.
$20,000. Oh, let all the Tesla share goes. That's the amount of money that we had in Tesla at the time.
Dope.
20 G's. We sold all the fucking shares, took that money, pop it into the fucking food truck. Okay, no problem. It's going to take about 3 to 6 months for the trailer to get ready. Okay, so great, right? We're like, so then we get trailer in built, ordered and everything. Money is down. Shit is getting financed. And then so that's where we're like, okay, it's time to go, you know, basically, you know, find how we're going to fund this business. And then that's how this entire fried chicken wishbone shit started. So all of that was to say that that's how we were going to finance the food truck. And then we go, and then now we're like, you know, we're doing this whole fucking, you know, pop-up brunch. Now we're getting recognized by Top 25 Chronicle and this and the third. And then trailer is ready.
Yeah.
And now I have no interest in the fucking trailer. So I got a fucking trailer, a fucking badass 16 feet commercial kitchen grade trailer sitting on the fucking on the backyard of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Just collecting dust.
Right now?
No, that was back then.
Okay.
That's in 2020.
I got it.
2020, 2021-ish. Yeah. So the trailer is just sitting there. So all this, just to say, all this motion is happening. We're buying restaurant. We're talking with Jeremy and all this shit, knowing that the trailer is fucking coming. So when the trailer come, we're like, yo, I don't have any interest for the trailer anymore. Why the fuck am I going to bug myself on a trailer when I can just run out of the restaurant?
Right.
And then, you know, so then fast forward back to the cease and desist letter.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, so what the fuck are we going to do? So now, while we're at Wishbone, though, another shit happened is that this lady had just moved in town and from Georgia. And Grace is her name, is basically, she is a mentor to entrepreneurs.
Okay.
That's her gig. That's what she does. Big nonprofit, very, very smart woman. And, you know, she just helped people build their business and help entrepreneurs reach the next level. So she comes in, because she found out the story about, like, you know, the Tesla, because the Tesla thing ended up being a big fucking story. We got to put about ABC News for the fucking shit.
Oh, really?
I mean, yeah. That shit fucking popped off, you know?
Yeah.
And that was a story. And then, so, of course, you know, Grace shows up. She's like, oh, I love a good story. And so I read you guys' story and then how you guys are doing your shit. So I just bought 63 acres of land in Petaluma. I'd like to give you guys a third of an acre where you can do a garden and you can maybe use the garden to, you know, supply your food.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh shit, all right, great, right? I mean, we got a garden, we got a trailer, we got a fucking restaurant going, right? I'm like, okay, all right, yes, all sounds great, you know? So when all this shit goes down, and it's just to, you know, it's just to see like how shit works, right? So this entire shit goes down. Now we get the cease and desist letter. That means we got to move the trailer off the property. So I call Grace, and I'm like, Grace, so here's the situation. We're trying to figure it out. Is it okay for us to move the trailer into your property?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, sure, Steph, go ahead, do that. So I move it, and I'm like, okay, Grace. So then Grace had this entire plan for, like, you know, how she wanted to do this, you know, this kind of like corporate retreat, you know, type of like venue spot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you know, because she has this massive land, beautiful property in the Petaluma Gap. And, you know, and that was her thing, right? So she hit us up. She hit up another a small winery, you know, winemaker guy. He was like, yo, do you want to grow your grapes on the property? Here's a third of an acre.
Yeah.
She found this couple they were like part Hollywood but part sunflower farmers. It was like, oh, you need a spot to grow your sunflowers? Here's half of an acre. So next thing you know, there's like all these little businesses on the property, on the same farm.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? So it's like great concept.
That's a good idea,
bro. And then here we are with a fucking trailer, and we're like, oh yeah, we can make food.
Yeah.
And then so she's like, oh great, hired a team. Team comes in, then they start looking for fucking businesses to come in and do, you know, corporate retreat stuff over there.
Yeah.
7,000 square feet barn. So she invites Lacey, who's a yoga instructor, to come and do yoga for the retreat.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, basically, you want it, you got it. It's all on the fucking property. It's a one-stop shop.
That's cool. She doing that to this day?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we still that's my mentor, you know, a great friend, business partner, you know, and so yeah, I mean, you know, of course, like business has evolved, you know, people have kind of left and go, but from the original team, we're the last one standing.
Yeah,
and so because you know, anyway, it's a good thing for the restaurant, anyways, and so anyways, so it's to say all that. So cease and desist, we moved the trailer. We start doing the trailer thing over there. So we're like, okay, we're doing a catering here, a catering there. We got approached by what's it called? Outstanding in the field.
Yeah.
Yep. So those guys, you know,
cool.
They found us. So they invited us to come and do a dinner at McAvoy Ranch in Petaluma. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. So we went on. We fucking did that. So you know, so as we're going through the motion of things. While we're trying to figure it out, this cease and desist, whether or not we're going to continue with this business, we got the trailer kind of like working, you know? So it's not really financially bring a lot of money, but it was enough for us to pay rent, basically, you know? Household rent, make sure there's food on the table, you know, while we're figuring this shit out. And then, one day, bro, I get a fucking text, you know, from JF, the finance guy, and he sent me, he's like, yo, would that work? And it's like this tiny little building that says Chili Joe's, and they have a big ass fucking thing that the business was for sale. Mm-hmm. So the story with Chili Joe's is that, so before Chili Joe's, it was a restaurant called Le Bistro, French restaurant for 30 years. Chili Joe's, a couple on the older side, bought it because my man wanted to do chili. Mm-hmm. The lady didn't know much about the business, but wanted to support her husband, who always been in the restaurant, who worked for a lot of like big hotels or whatever, wanted to support his dream and open up this Chili Joe's. So they took over that from the bistro. They bought it from the bistro.
Yeah.
And they redid every fucking thing. I mean, that shit was like wiped out clean, rebuilt, really like a chili joint, but the fucking kitchen, bro.
Yeah.
It was like all fuck. I mean, the kitchen is what it is today. You come in TCP.
Yeah.
We're literally using the same fucking stove that they had.
That kitchen's dope.
Right? Yeah. Small fucking kitchen.
Yeah, small.
I'm like, you know.
One line,
all stainless. Bro, you know what I mean? Everything at reach. Oh, yeah. You know, you're not walking. There's no walking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything is at reach, bro. And then so Chili Joe's had buy the business, redid the kitchen, redid the space. 3 months later, COVID happened. So they shut down. The wife of the gentleman was a teacher.
Yeah.
So now she's finding herself out of school, doing the online school thing. School is, I guess, is kind of like reopening, but business is reopening. They're trying to fucking juggle this thing, figure this thing out. They don't know what to do. She's over here, I guess, started finding herself calling substitute teachers to go teach so she could come and run the business. And then so, you know, so I guess, of course, you know, it was just a matter of time before they burned out. And then, so they're trying to do the fucking COVID thing. So shut down during COVID, trying to reopen, you know, didn't get the lunch that they wanted. Yeah. You know, I think they got some PPP money also, right? To kind of like, you know, cover those things. And decided to sell the business. So Jeremy's, JF is on his way home, fucking sees the business, take a picture, send it to me, and I'm like, dude, at this point, it doesn't even matter. Anything works. And he's like, okay, well, call this number and close the deal. And I'm like, okay. So, mind you, the restaurant is like a block away from my house. So I fucking walk, I go see a shit. I'm like, oh, okay. I fucking call it. I'm like, hey, yeah, so I'm inquiring about, you know, the Chili Joe's business. And the guy goes, and he's like, the realtor or the broker. And he's like, yeah, so, you know, what kind of concept are you thinking? And I'm like, well, you know, casual dining. And it's like, nah, you know, we need a burger joint. Or, you know, no, that's kind of, that's what, I swear to God, bro. That's kind of like what we're looking. I'm like, okay,
you sell houses.
Come on, bro. I'm like, wait. And then so I asked him. I said, well, is that you saying? Or was that the owner, the seller saying?
Yeah.
He's like, no, that's what me saying. I'm like, yo, can you get me in touch?
Fuck out of here,
with
son.
the fuck, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then so
that's like me being like, yo, there's a listing down on this street. Check it out, son.
Bro, right? And I'm like, all right, dude, whatever, man. And then so fucking I go and I meet, you know, I you know, so he does put me in touch with the seller. And, you know, so I'm talking to Mark and I'm like, yeah, Mark. So, you know, Mark is like very talkative, you know, and he's like, and my man's going on. And then he had followed what we were doing. The broker's assistant knew who we were with the buzz we're getting in town, you know, and I'm like, yo, that's what we want. And then then, you know, so then the broker calls and they're like, well, yeah, we have a couple deals. And I'm like, okay, so are you guys in negotiation time? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so how much money do they want for this shit? And he's like, 150. It's like, done. And he's like, what? I'm like, done. How do you want to do? No contingencies or nothing. 150, we're taking it. Call the seller right now. So this was like, okay. So he doesn't call the seller, bro. He goes and call a competitor that wanted to buy it. But his dumbass called my phone and left a message for the competitor on my phone.
Oh.
And so I fucking call him back and I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, why do you not want to sell this to us? And he's like, well, you know, I just wanted to give the guy. I'm like, dude, I just gave you what they asked for. So why are you calling another guy? And then, bro, 20 minutes later, all right, guys, so deal is closed. So you guys got it. Yeah. And so that's how we got TCP where we are today.
Damn.
And so, and then that was that. And then, bro, of course, you know, of course, then shit got a sour, you know, with
for sure, bro,
the wishbone. Yeah. I'm like, bro, what do you want me to tell you? You need to, you know, but
whatever,
you know, but being a good, you know, I always trying to do things right? But even before I told him whatever, bro, like so there was this other guy, he has a restaurant called Belfair, who was doing fried chicken sandwich at the farmer's market. Bomb ass fucking fried chicken sandwich. So we used to go there all the time and get it. And so I hit him up and I'm like, dude, this could be a spot for you to do this. You know, I'm walking out. And mind you, bro, I had already paid for plans, you know, health department visits. You know, we have the whole thing. And I'm like, dude, I'll give it to you. Just because, you know, I'm trying to keep, you know, a clean slate between those, you know, taking in consideration like what they've done for us, you know. And so if, you know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that those guys didn't have a part of the success of TCP because they actually did. You know, they helped us, you know, they allowed us to come in there and build and do all the fucking crazy mistakes, you know, that we could have done opening up a restaurant, you know. And so you know, so I hit him up and I'm like, yo, dude, you know, maybe you might want to check it out. He's like, oh, wow, you know what? I'm very interested. I'm like, all right, dude, here's all the plans. Here's the numbers. Here's the this. I wash my hand and I walk out, bro. I'm like, okay, I found you someone that could potentially want to buy your business. I'm going to go about mine and then see what's up with this joint over here. And then so now, you know, of course, so now I'm dealing with the broker's assistant, you know, very professional, you know, taking us through every single step.
Yeah.
Applying for wine and liquor license, all the permits, health permit, and all this shit. But it was a turnkey because the kitchen had just been remodeled before. So there was nothing
That's
to...
lucky.
Bro, zero. There was nothing to...
For 150?
Dog, all I had to do was put query tiles in the back room.
Yeah.
And a new water heater. And I was like, okay, great. And, bro, got approved, dog. I have a buddy of mine, Mike, who's in the contractor business. I'm like, yo, Mike, can you help me with some paint, bro?
Yeah.
Throw some paint on this shit, dude. Knock this shit out. Bro, 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks to open because we were literally running out of money. And then so got 2 weeks to open. Bro, in 2 weeks, man, December 15th, pew, TCP door fucking open. Damn. With the same Chili Joe's chairs, tables, just a new paint. And that was it.
Yeah.
And then we just started fucking cranking shit out of that fucking kitchen.
Did you go through many different concepts before you were like fine dining?
So yeah, so then, you know, so of course, you know, so we opened this thing. We didn't really have a patio at the time. And, we're like the new hot shit in town, right? And then so we're like buzzing like crazy. Sonoma Magazine comes back out. The chefs from TCP, from Wishbone or whatever, find a new permanent home, So Sonoma is popping, right? So first 3 months, impossible to get a fucking reservation. Book. I mean, book. But we were doing a la carte. But you've been to the restaurant. You see how small it is. 20 seats. We trying to fit 22 people, but even that was a fucking hassle. And so, so a la carte, we're kind of like doing the same kind of like concept that we did at the Wishbone. We're doing a little fried chicken. We're doing a bunch of different things. But then then the real business restaurant life kicks in, It's like, okay, well, now food cost is too high because of waste. You're not turning tables fast enough because people come in, they spend $40, but
spend 2 hours, bro.
Exactly. And then when you're trying to say, hey, do you mind if we could have this table for the next person? Now we're the bad guy. Oh, I can't believe you're kicking us out. We're not coming back.
Yeah.
No. I'm like, fuck, okay. And then so we're like, all right, so we're going with this shit. And I'm like, okay, well, fuck, dude. Do we start doing a tasting menu? And I'm like, okay, well, maybe we do a hybrid. We do tasting menu and a la carte. And so that's still kind of working until tasting menu started selling out a la carte menu. And I'm like, oh, okay. Just
tasting menu only.
Get rid of fucking a la carte. You know what I mean?
TMO,
tasting menu. Yo, bro, tasting menu only, bro. And so, but, I'm coming also from a very long period of time, where I haven't really worked in a tasting menu house. The last tasting menu house that I worked was when we first met, which was at
Meadowwood?
At Meadowwood.
Damn.
And so, so now again, so I'm like, I'm trying to figure this thing out, but I'm like, oh, fuck, okay. All right, well, those are too small. These are not fucking, the menus suck, and, price point is, but, we're kind of like, okay, but now we're the only place in Petaluma that's doing tasting menu. Oh, these guys are getting too expensive.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. I'm like, okay, well, so we're doing, all right, so you can get, we had like, at some point we were running like 3 different sequences of tasting menus. So we had a 5-course for, I think it was like for 85, a 7-course for 95, and a 9-course for 125. And so, but of course, right, it's 9-course really, but you can basically, you get the 5 and the 7-course out of that.
Yeah.
And, but again, right, you have all these options. People come in, they do the tasting menu, they're going towards a 9-course tasting. And I'm like, okay, 9-course tasting menu? Shit.
Okay.
I mean, everybody's buying fucking 9-course.
Yeah.
We might as well go for 9 courses only.
Right.
And then, of course, then you go into this thing. And then, but again, bro, like, oh, okay, well, it's kind of too expensive. So I'm like, all right, okay. So maybe we do the 7-course for 95. And then, but it's like, you're offering this tasting menu, right? Because tasting menu has this prestigious type of title, right? It's
right.
It's the experience that counts, that matters, and with the food and stuff like that. But mind you, bro, we're still rocking fucking Chili Joe's chairs and tables. So fucking, a diner, chairs and tables, and fucking selling $95 tasting menus.
Yeah.
And then one day I go do this gig, and so I leave the boys in the kitchen. And then, I come, we come back from the gig, okay, whatever, it's a successful gig. And then we get a fucking review that comes in. And that's why I fuck with Resi, by the way. I love Resi because Resi doesn't just blast your shit like open table for everybody to see, And then this guy just fucking raped us, bro. Yeah. It's like, oh, I can't believe those guys are doing this shit over there. So fucking impoverished.
Ooh.
And I'm like, oh. And so, mind you, so Steven, who's in the kitchen, bro, that shit broke his heart. I've never seen a guy be so upset, because that was the first night I wasn't there. And it was him. And then that's the shit that we get, And bro, and he had a very hard time, you know. And I was like, it's all good, bro. You know, we'll pick it up. You know, we'll figure this shit out, right? And then, but on the financial side, the numbers were looking a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I went from a 40% food cost to a 22% food cost.
There you go.
You know, now I'm overstaffed. I'm like, okay, we need to figure this staff shit out, right? And so, you know, so we're doing the proper adjustment, you know. And then, you know, credit was good. I get a fucking, you know, I get a credit card, you know, with a nice chunk of money.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, maybe that's why we close this, since we're doing tasting, and then we really, you know, you know, take in consideration this tasting thing, right? How do you conceptualize a fucking tasting, you know? Because the guy was right. You know, I'm sorry, but my business, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't give a fuck. I always admit my shit. I say, yo, he's right. We can't be charging fucking $95 for motherfuckers to come and sit on the table in a chair that's gonna hurt your ass after 2 hours.
That's right.
You know, we can't be, you know, pumping the fucking house and making people wait for their seat. You know what I mean? Because at this point, it's like we're taking away from the experiment. We're somewhat money hungry, you know. So it's like, yo, we need to take all of those things in consideration and do this shit right. And then so I hit up Mike, and I'm like, yo, Mike, I need to change this shit. You know, I need to do some stuff. And he's like, all right, well, what's up, Steph? I'm like, all right, well, so we're a light space. I'm like, we're going to go dark. You know, find me the nicest fucking walnut wood that you can find. Mm-hmm. Plank it over here. Let's do this shit right here. We switch up the lights. I go to Scandinavian Design, bro.
Yeah.
I drop a fucking bag on these nice-ass lounge dining leather chairs.
Oh, yeah, they're nice.
I hit up my buddy Joey. So Joey is a sous chef at Single Thread.
Yeah.
But who also does all the woodwork for Single Thread. I hit up Joe. I'm like, Joe.
Joey the sous chef.
Bro,
God damn.
I'm like, Joey, you got to help me out, bro.
Every restaurant needs a Joey.
Yo, I'm telling you, man, Joey's the man, bro. I was like, yo. So I call him Joey Badass. So, you know, I was like, yo. I'm like, yo, Joey Badass. I'm like, yo, I need tables, bro. You got to help me. He's all right, chef, I got you, man.
I need
so
tables.
He's
like,
goes,
yeah, no problem. Just on my weekend from Single Thread.
Yo,
what the fuck?
Well, and then at the time,
come on the show, son of a bitch.
I'm telling you, Joey's quite the story, man.
That's dope.
And I'm like, yo, Joe, what's up, dude? He's like, yeah, you know, Single Thread just overloaded me with all these things anyways. So I'm just going to put you guys in the fucking mix and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, dude, like, you know, I got a week, Joey. I need to open this shit up. Get me some fucking tables. I got you, chef. Shit, Joey cranks out some badass fucking tables for us, bro. And,
He's
you know.
Like just has walnut wood laying
No,
around.
and that's not even a one. That's not even a one. That's a different one. No, but he has his, he has his little lumber spot. Yeah, his workshop, you know. He got his thing, you know what I mean? But Joey came through, bro. And, you know, and here we are, you know, with this nice ass looking small restaurant, you know, and then so we closed for a week and then, or 10 days, I guess. And then, you know, I'm like, all right, let's streamline things, you know. And I'm like, okay, 1 course, 7 course, 125. That's it. You know, get in there, fucking weekends, nights off. We're R&Ding shit, you know, we're lunching. I mean, bro, like, you know, I mean, we just went ham on this thing, you know, just really revamp, you know, what we were doing and, you know, which now puts us, you know, where we at, you know. And then so, you know, with the effort of now being only in this tasting menu zone, so then, you know, now menus are coming like nicely, you know, we're going now, we're eating, we're seeing what other guys are doing, you know. I'm contacting some of my buddies. So I have this homegirl that I went to school with in France,
Yeah.
Alice, and I hit up Alice. I'm like, dude, Alice, I need some ideas with some desserts and some of this, you know. And so she's like, all right, you know, so she sent me some stuff, some good recipes. So we put that together. And then I ended up meeting this guy, Matthew, Matt Mako. Does that sound familiar?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, so Matt Mako is also, he used to be with Mike from Anomaly.
Oh, dope.
So
dope.
So he was the front of the house guy, you know. So Matt, and I think Matt is also a good friend with, what's your boy's name? From Burdell?
Jeff.
Yeah. So I think those guys, I think they were thinking about opening up a restaurant in the city, and I don't know what things didn't go well. So he had a pastry chef that was coming on board.
Yeah.
So I know I don't know what happened, but something happened between where Matt and Jeff didn't kind of work out.
Right.
So that's how Matt. So I had this guy that was working for me, and who knew Matt very well. That was his best friend who introduced me to Matt.
Right.
And then Matt came to the restaurant, was very impressed, and he's like, "Yo, chef," he's like, "Yo, bro, I got a project in the city. You should come check out." And I'm like, "Okay." So I come to the city, we look at it or whatever, and I'm like, "All right, it's a massive project and stuff." And I'm like, "Okay, figure your thing out, see where you want to go." And when I went to go meet him, then he introduced me to this pastry chef, and then so Sylvain, French, I speak French, so like, we saw each other, it was like, click right away.
Right.
And, and then I started kind of like doing these like chef event type of a thing where, you invite a chef to come over. So I invited, what's his name? Fuck, I'm so bad with names, but he used to own a Posey ice cream. Now he's a chef for Spruce and,
He's like the exec chef for
so
that?
he's not the exec chef. He's the pastry chef, but I think he manages all the Spruce restaurants, kind of a thing. And then
Bacchus Group. Bacchus Group is the name.
Yes,
of the
I
group.
think so. Yeah. So, but he had a ice cream shop named Posey, and so anyway, so we did the first one with him, which was great.
Yeah.
And then I called Sylvain, and I'm like, which was Matt's pastry chef, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, I'm doing these, pastry chef pop-up shit."
Yeah.
But really, I'm just trying to like fucking see how these guys are doing some of their pastries, see if I can pick up a little bit of knowledge and do my thing. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm down, and then that's kind of like when I found out like, things didn't work out too well with Matt because Matt ended up having other things to do or whatever. And then so I'm like, oh shit, and he's a French guy, on a visa. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm like, bro, you come work with us? Yeah. Wow, Matt is figuring this thing out, and he's like, oh yeah, if it's like, yeah, sure, I'm in a kind of weird position right now, and I'm like, yeah, dude, like, shit, it can be all yours, bro. How much money you trying to make? So I was like, oh, here's your salary, bro, and come run the fucking pastry program. And then and of course, us being like ambitious and like other ideas. So I'm like, bro, like eventually would love to be able to like do a pastry shop concept and stuff. Pastry boutique concept and stuff like that. And then so Sylvain came, and then so then it ended up being, so now today, it's me, Steven, and Sylvain. So it's the three of us in the kitchen. And I have Danny, who is a very well knowledgeable sake connoisseur, and Jesse, who is our, front of the house captain, who also worked for Michael Mina for a while. So, and then there's Jackie. So there's like the six of us now. So 3 in the back, 3 in the front, a badass girl named Yuli, who is a machine at the dish pit, and they don't make him like Yuli anymore, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, Yuli comes in at 4, dog. Yuli got time to fucking slice the fucking fish, get all the fucking little peach fucking coins on the fish, and knock out the dish pit at the same fucking time. Machine.
Crazy.
So basically it's the 7 of us now, just like running this, tight little ship,
Yeah, I like that.
And then so that's what we've been doing for the past year now, very solid. By season, so we change the menu twice a season. So we do early season and mid season, and you know how it goes, man. Like, you have nights where ideas just fucking comes and they flow, and then you put them down. And I was like, okay, shit, next menu.
Yeah.
And then so that's how TCP is, what it is today. So to come back to the original question about Petaluma supporting. So of course, we're the only house that's doing a tasting menu in Petaluma, and I think they had a very hard time at first, with the tasting thing, just being so, not having so many options, I guess, to do things, but eventually, I think the towns to kind of like appreciate what we're doing. They see it's a different. We're doing things a lot different than most,
Bringing some fucking class to Petaluma.
Absolutely, So for some of them, it's a nice dining spot, but really,
How cool is that to be Petaluma and not have to leave Petaluma to go to a tasting menu restaurant? You don't got to go to the city.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's what it's been, bro.
Yeah.
And that's what they all say. You know, Marin comes up. If Marin is not doing Madcap, they come to TCP.
Yeah, bro.
You know, and then so Sonoma is the same. But now, you know, we also have a lot of like, I'm seeing a lot of out of state coming in. My money is from out of town. I can say that right now. Like 75% of the business that we generate at the restaurant are either Bay Area or out of state. Michigan, New York. I mean, bro, I had a guy walk in here from Jersey and I said, yo, chef, ça passe. And I was like, wait, what? And I fucking, you know, and I'm like, yo, this is like this white boy. You know, I was like, wait, what the fuck? I was like, he's like, oh yeah, I heard you Haitian, man. He's like, yo, where's that pima on the fucking thing? I was like, oh, all right, bet, you know.
This guy knows.
And then, so I was like, all right, what's up, you know? And so, you know, yeah, a lot of like, you know, out of state and, you know, out of the town. And so, and then, you know, and the town, of course, supports when a special occasion comes on board. Yeah. When it's like, you know, fall season or we're popping, you know, everybody's coming out and everybody's doing their thing. And, so I think we've been accepted and recepted pretty well now, you know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So, you know, so basically, you know, the roller coaster of
TCP provisions, bro. Are you planning on expanding it all? The
restaurant group?
Yeah,
man. Yes. So I am in the middle of a restaurant right now. I'm building a new spot.
Oh shit! In the city?
No, in Petaluma.
Petaluma.
We're a block away.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, man.
Casual. Okay.
Yeah, the restaurant at Metro.
Okay.
Tram.
There you go.
Steve was saying, it's like, yo, Costell's gonna fucking
the restaurant at Metro.
Tram. So it's the Metro Hotel.
Tramily.
Tram, yeah. We're like a block away.
Yeah.
You know, twice the size. You know, 40. We can do about like 40 to 45 covers. And then we have the beauty of the hotel who has a conference room where we can do private dining and stuff like that.
I like that.
Patio, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And so, yeah, so, I mean, that's what I've been working on for the past year.
Yeah, you're going to take that little town over, bro.
Yeah, man.
Like Thomas Keller did Yampa.
Yeah, man, that's what they're saying, right? That's
take
what some
it
of them
over,
are saying.
bro.
That's what some of them are saying, you know?
Yeah, do it, man.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I'd rather have that than some bum-ass motherfucker come in and try to just... I think the people of this town would like this.
Right.
Like, you know the town.
Right, I know the town.
You know,
right.
You know the people, you know the players.
Right.
Like,
right. And that's exactly what it is, you know, because remember, right, when we started TCP as a tasting, as a casual a la carte spot, we were booming. We just couldn't, the logistic didn't just allowed us to do that because the space was so small. So there's that money, right? There's that, you know, there's that, I don't want to say money, but there's that pool of customers and supporters, you know, that wants to come, but they don't want to come and blow 125 on a weekly basis, you know? But if they ain't come in and have, you know, a bum ass pasta, you know what I mean? Or, you know, whatever, you know, once a week, once every 2 weeks, you know, then that's what that is. So, you know, so like you said, you know, I know the town and what they want. And so, you know, so anyway, so that was an opportunity, you know, that presented itself, you know, yeah, crazily, you know, and so I was like, yeah, dude, fuck it, man, let's go. So hopefully November. So is what we're aiming at for opening. So we just passed all the permits. So we just got all the permits approved.
It's under the radar, huh? You're doing this like behind the scenes.
Yeah, you know,
you got to, man. Like, I gotta be trying to be like sending too many people there when you open, bro.
Exactly. You know,
you gotta work out the kinks a little bit.
Exactly. No looking back. You know, and you know, no big expectation. I'm like, okay, when this shit is ready to go, we're gonna boom, you know.
Yeah.
And mind you, the outlets already knows, you know, like some of the outlet already knows, but I stay away from giving too much information. I'm like, listen, when I know I'm secured off the fucking funding for this thing, and I know things are like,
how they find that shit out? They just like go by the restaurant.
Yeah, or? So we just did
table hopper.
Yeah, we just did an article. Sonoma Magazine just did an article on us called they call us the Bootstrappers.
Yeah.
And so Margot, who is, you know, the writer and editor of the article, she came and spent she spent 3 days with us at the restaurant. So, I am in the kitchen. While I'm in the kitchen, I got headphones on and I'm running another business. I'm getting things together.
Doing everything.
I'm doing everything. So she overheard us, and she was like, "Oh, so she overheard me." And she's like, "Oh, so you got another restaurant guy?" And I'm like, yeah, yeah, I guess. I was like, I guess you can know. And she's like, "Oh, so what's up with the restaurant?" I'm like, I don't want to say too much, but but here's a couple things, and then we'll see. And then so, so of course, so then I'm sure Margot went into the spot.
Yeah.
Oh, those guys are doing. And somebody else hit me up. Oh, I heard you're paying up another spot. A couple of times I was outside. People have seen me outside. So you have this little foodies page where it's like Petaluma foodies, Sonoma foodies. Oh, we saw the chef at TCP in front of the metro. What's going on over there?
Yeah.
Because there used to be a spot named Quinoa, and then which was a Peruvian spot.
Okay.
And then even when Quinoa left, he kind of like, there was a little story between him and the landlord and stuff like that. That kind of like, hit the thing. And I think Quinoa also spoke, kind of like opened their mouth. Like, oh yeah, these guys are the one coming in at it, and so, yeah. So, anyways, hopefully, fingers crossed. Well,
definitely.
Actually, there's no more fucking finger crossed, to be honest.
You're doing it. You're here, baby.
I'm so deep into this shit. Anyways, you're like, I was talking to my mom this morning. I was like, you know how much money I just fucking spent on this project right now?
Yeah.
And I haven't even lifted a brick yet.
Yeah.
And she's like, Steph, I know. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, yeah, ma. There's no going back,
Dude, it's a lot of money to open up a restaurant, bro.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And it's still a new in a sense to me because I didn't get as lucky as I got with Chili Joe's. Because Chili Joe's, I didn't have to do anything. Because the place was basically ready to go.
Right.
So I know that now I'm dealing with an architect.
Right.
I'm dealing with fire department. I'm dealing with city planning. I'm dealing with building department.
This one got you,
bro. I'm like, oh my, bro. I'm telling you,
I bet you though, every time you walk into TCP, you're like,
bro. No. Sometimes, like Steven was asking me the other day, it's like, yo, bro, like this shit doesn't scare you. I'm like, like I'll think about it. I'll second guess myself for a second, But I'm like, but bro, I got 2 sons, man. These motherfuckers eat a lot. We gotta secure this bag, we gotta do it, man. And we're a minority group, in Petaluma.
Shit, but they're about to grow up to be as big as you, motherfucker. You need 4 restaurants, bro.
Yo, I'm telling you, my son eats steaks and fruit for dinner. And I'm like, yo, that man I'll show up at my house on a Sunday. He's like, yo, daddy, so you're not working tonight? I'm like, nah. He's like, oh, why? You don't want to work? I'm like, nah, I don't want to work. He's like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, what's up, son? Well, I was just in the mood for steak and fruit tonight. I'm like, oh, you're in the mood for steak and fruit, so you're asking me if I'm, And so, I mean, listen, man, because we do that social hour thing on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and so which is like a little a la carte. That's our happy hour version.
Okay.
And then so
you do like a smaller tasting, right?
It's not a tasting. It's an a la carte, but it's a small menu. It's like a 8 different item menu, and then so very different from the tasting, and that we're also using. I used a social hour today as a platform to start testing out dishes for the new space.
Got it.
That's the only time I have.
Nothing like getting paid to R&D, baby.
So I'm like, all right, build this thing. Let's see what works, what doesn't work, how they work. And then so we do that just from 4 to 6 on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Got it.
And then so we do that. So anyways, so your boy, he just loves to come in on Wednesday, Thursdays and get some, freaking steak and frites,
Yeah.
Steak and frites, fruit misto. Then he'll go see Sylvain, be like, yo, you got, what's for dessert? Saint Honoré or fucking opera cake?
Yeah.
It's like, nah, I'm not doing chocolate right now. Anything else?
Dude.
And so,
you got a dope restaurant, man. I love
you.
the line. I love the kitchen. I love how small it is.
Thank you.
3 people to run it. That's all you need. It's not, that's I like that. It's unfussy.
It is. It's unfussy.
And you can teach someone to like cook like right there.
Right.
Right. It's not like from across the pass or like whatever.
No, exactly. Yeah. And it's very hands-on and and guys get up there like we've had a couple stage and they get in there and they get intimidated in a sense.
Yeah, for sure.
I get stages. Oh yeah, you're not done this Michelin, that Michelin, this and a third, blah blah. I'm like, okay, all right, cool, man, great. I've done them too, so I know how the house works. Like, let's really see how do you get down. And then these guys will show up And then with 3 of us, we're doing 40 covers, 7-course tasting.
Yeah.
That's 280 dishes. The 3 of us.
Yeah.
Bro. And then they're just like, what the fuck? And bro, and mind you, certain shit, I don't, it's like, oh, why don't you sous vide the steak? What? Fuck you talking about, bro?
Yeah.
Why would I sous vide the steak?
Yeah, we're just going to cook it.
Yo, we're going to cook it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit, yo.
And that's just going to be perfect.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Yo, I don't know. We're sending onions out. Steven starts stealing sticks.
Right.
Okay. Rest. In the oven, come out. Cut. Go.
Yeah,
it's like,
dude.
yo, these guys are, and then they're like, what the? You know what I mean?
Sous vide is whack.
I'm telling you, bro.
So whack.
I'm telling you, bro. Sometimes, for me, it'll help on a larger scale. Some shit I don't want to, yeah, but I'm with you, bro. You know, it's like, whatever, dog. I'm like, nah, we don't fucking do this shit, bro.
I just don't get I don't want to waste time. And I feel like every time you fucking bag something to just open it 20 minutes later, what the fuck?
Right, absolutely. For real, man. For real. And so, yeah, so they'll show up, we done mash this, that, and that. Yeah. So, all right, we'll see you in the kitchen. See how it is. And, bro, they never come back. Be like, yo, these guys are fucking crazy. One of them was like, yo, you guys are fucking crazy, man. Like, and then other servers would come in and they see us and say, what? Is it just the 3 of you? I mean, bro, imagine. Yeah, we're in 10 a.m. We're prepping. We get this shit ready. We cook. We close the fucking kitchen. We scrub that shit from top to bottom.
Yeah.
That's
Every night.
Exactly. Every night. Well, 4 nights a week. 4 nights a week.
4 nights a week?
Yeah. We only do 4 nights.
Dude.
Yeah, 4 nights a week.
Yo, you figured it out, bro.
Wednesday to Saturday, bro. That's it.
Got time to see the family.
Sunday, Sunday we spend with the family.
Yo.
Monday, you kind of do your own little thing. And then Tuesday, bro, start ordering, get in there, get all the stocks going, all the sauces going, get all that shit. Sylvain comes in, get all his pastries in place. Wednesday morning, bro, we're right back at it. And we're doing fucking social hour now. So we have to be ready by 4. So 4 for social hour, which goes until 6, and tasting starts at 5. So sometimes on Wednesday and Thursday, we're crossing tasting and social hour. And then this shit just go fucking quiet. It's everybody's moody, bro, because everybody's in the zone, and then we're just pumping things up. But that's when a Wednesday and a Thursday gets very busy, But on a Friday and a Saturday, bro, come on, dog. You come in. I mean, I'm doing my own garnishes. Everybody do their own station.
Yeah.
And it's fluid, bro. We don't need to talk. It's fluid. Everybody knows what to do. Sylvain picks up the first course and the last 2 courses. And then so even when we create a menu, so it's an entire process. Okay, well, all right, who's gonna pick up this, that, and the third? Does Steven have too many things? Certain menus, I'm better on the hotline than Steven. So Steven moves up to the fucking pass and is doing plating. So I'm cooking, plating, and he's plating. So it's and we're fucking cranking things out, and it's and that's what it is, and and then once we're done, bro, it's oh, and you guys clean? Think we're gonna get a fucking night crew team? Nah, dog. Nah, Yuli doesn't touch the fucking mop, the broom nor the mop. We mop, broom. Right. That's it. We take the trash out. The boys go, they'll take the recycling out, Everything is now, of course, eventually that's going to change with the new space because we're going to have to hire because I got to move to the new space. But, for the time being, it's a very nice, tight, cohesive little spot, and then we're just cranking this shit out. And bro, no diss, to the stagiaires and the cooks and stuff like that, but it's you don't have to worry about motherfuckers fucking shit up.
Yeah.
There's also that part, because it's for us, it's so repetitive. We come in and then we're locked in. When also we change the menu? Because I see sometimes we'll do it. I'll change the menu after 4 weeks in when I can show up and I can get my whole system set up without a fucking mise en place list. We're oh, okay, menu is mastered. Next menu. Kick this one off. And that's that. You know what I mean? And then we go. Of course, the first couple of days, it's always a little, little fussy, trying to get things going. But, eventually, I see after a week, this shit's fucking dialed in. You're not. Anyways, it's very different how we do things, and we're always making fun of that. I'm like, yo, Mr. Paul, Paul Bocuse is probably turning in his fucking grave right now, seeing, how this guy is processing certain shit. You know what I mean? Because that's just like, that's just real. There's like what you see and you think should be, and then there is what, the practical. It is what it is, bro. That's what it is. What counts? How you get there, or the fact that you get there and no one knows the fucking difference. Yeah. Right? I somewhat hate that mentality, but for what we're doing today, sometimes that's the reality.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
And so
at the end of the day, too, like a lot of these restaurants have Michelin stars, fucking James Beard, all this shit, and they're broke.
Right.
I'm saying, like, you might as well take your fucking time.
Facts, bro.
And get your fucking...
For sure, man. For sure, man. And, and then for me, for us, that's the ultimate goal, right? It's like, yeah, we would love to have, some type of, like, mission recognition, because I know there's a finance aspect to that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Michelin brings a lot of business.
Asses in seats, baby.
Exactly. Right, you know what I mean? They fucking do. Mm-hmm. For us, it's more like, I need that, right?
Yeah.
But, but I'm also very, conflicted with myself, because I'm like, fuck, dude, like, okay, yeah, because, there are nights you'll have a bad service, and I'm like, fuck, dude, we had a fucking bad service tonight. Maybe the customer doesn't feel it, but we feel it, what I mean? Yeah. We know, we're like, fuck, man, like, nobody's looking at each other. You know what I mean? Until the fucking first beer crack, like, no one is talking to each other. And you just hear the door gets fucking slammed. Bam, bam, bam. I mean, I'll be the first, bro. I don't give a fuck, what I'm fucking up. These motherfuckers are fucking up, bro. We're fucking popping shit in there,
Yeah.
But, but that's also, that doesn't happen very often. But that's rare.
I feel like that, like, there's people that take that kind of shit as like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean? Right. But I take it as like a basketball player dribbling harder.
Right.
I'm taking it to the fucking, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Like, I'm going now.
Yeah. You're intensified. No,
that's it. Sure. And I think that should be like, we should celebrate that shit. And it's like, I treat it like a game. You're an athlete. Mm-hmm. When you're a cook, you're doing the same repetitive movements and shit. You're working out certain muscles, like, and using your brain while, like,
exactly,
right. And so it's incredible.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's I take great joy. I mean, fuck, it's small spot, and that's what I tell you, man. Sometimes I'm running the kitchen, I'm plating, and I'm managing in front of the house.
Yeah,
because we can see some of the tables.
Yeah,
so we'll be like, you guys don't even worry about that. We'll fire those tables for you.
Yeah,
Danny, clear table 5. While you're done, table 7 is almost ready. Get your tray. You know what I mean? Wait, chef. I'm like, bro, don't even think. Just listen to what I'm saying.
You almost get a cadence after a while.
Exactly, bro.
You already know. Yeah.
Bro, you already know. Even Yuli knows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yuli knows, bro. Yuli will wash the dishes, and then she sees me. I'll be like, all right, guys, so we find the first course. And then my plate that she just washed is on the table. So instead of saying, instead of putting it away, it's already on the fucking table because she knows.
She knows where you're at in the
service, bro.
Whoa.
I'm telling you.
That's a strong dishwasher there.
I'm telling you.
That doesn't happen. That
doesn't
rare.
happen. I told her that the other day, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, do you know that there are cooks that don't even have the what's the word I use? There are cooks that don't even have
mental acuity.
Yeah. The IQ of you know what I mean?
Where
the
you're at in service,
the common sense of things. Mm-hmm. She'll like, mantequilla?
Yeah.
And then she'll set up a tray for the boys. The mantequilla knife is already on the tray. Oh, Danny, it's already there. It's crazy, So that's how, so that means, you're really trying to get a night off.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no. You're like, nah, fuck that, Yuli. What? No, we're not having it, Yuli. It's busy tonight, man. What are you talking about? So I'll see my sister. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. Like, can you come just for the rush and then you can go home?
Yeah.
Like, and so, but yeah, now we started to get one of the sisters in there. We're like, yeah, bring the sister. So,
Yeah, dude, bring the whole family.
Yeah.
So it's my dream to have a prep team that's all grandmas.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I want.
Man, that's El Molino right here.
Yeah, make my little pasta.
Yep.
You know, do this over here too.
Mm-hmm.
Just get a an international array of grandmothers.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro, that's it, man.
Hey, man, that's what you got to do.
That's what it is. It is, man. It is.
People, they ain't doing shit either.
Right.
Right.
No, it is.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So even for the new spot, I tell her that I'm like, yeah, I think we're gonna take all 3 of you guys.
Yeah.
Bring the sisters. I think that's gonna be the prep cook.
Yeah. Do it. You're gonna need it.
Yeah. And then again, those are, these ladies are the one that like. You don't have to worry. They follow step by step.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about. You may have to show twice.
Yeah.
But on after the third time, bro,
they got it.
Cruise control.
Yeah.
But
they're not trying to prove nothing. And
nothing.
That's kind of what you get from culinary school kids or young cooks.
Absolutely.
Like, how about this? Or have you seen this? And it's like, why don't you just learn what I'm teaching? Like right in front of you, there's something that's delicious and it takes a long time to make.
Right.
There's the same shit that you're trying to tell me.
Right.
And it's like, that's the worst when you're dealing with people that you're in a space and they're in another place talking about that thing. And you're like, what the fuck are we doing here then?
Right. Yeah, for sure. No, that's facts, man. That's facts.
There you go. What's your wine list looking like at your restaurant? What do you?
So
you go heavy Cali or?
That's a fight.
Yeah.
So shout out to Brian.
Yeah.
Brian London. So Brian.
He wants Napa cabs, and you're like,
nah, Brian does not. Actually, Brian does not like cabs.
Okay.
Bro, why doesn't it cab on the menu?
He's like,
well, it's like, dude, okay.
They're dead, man, dead.
So Brian is a wine importer.
Okay.
So Brian got his own fucking, wine and shit, and Brian does the wine list for us.
Yeah.
Again, whoever's listening to this, we don't do shit the way that you all do it. So Brian my advantage with Brian is that I don't have to buy 3 cases of wine from Brian for something. If you know business, inventory is cash, right? That's money that you have on the shelf, which they always tell you don't want. So it's to say that I am on a consignment program for my wine list. I pay when I sell.
Really?
So, yeah.
And you only get that because you're working with him?
Because I'm working with him.
Got you. Does he do this with other chefs?
No. I'm the only one.
Exclusive.
I got exclusive.
Got you.
So I'm like, Brian, okay.
That's a good idea, though, for anybody out there like trying to do that, bro.
I'm sharing game,
That's
bro.
a good way.
If you can find you a wine importer, I think that is the best way you can manage your inventory and still keep a lot of that cash in-house.
Yeah.
Because if you go to Planet Wine, this and that, those companies, they need to sell. The sales rep has to sell a certain amount to make their money.
Yeah.
So they have to look after themselves. They could give 2 fucks about you. Yeah. So I don't do that. So with Brian, if Brian wants to put, because I insist sometimes, a Cali wine, then okay, we might go to a Planet Wine and be like, okay, well, let me get 3 cases of that. Mm-hmm. But that might be the only $400 invoice that I'm sitting on. The rest comes from Brian's cave. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he makes the menu. I mean, we make the menu. We sit down. We eat the menu. We do it together. He does his pairing. Okay, I have this, that, 3rd, 4th, 5th on my thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you only need 3 bottles today. So he comes in, he replaces 3 bottles. On Monday, I get an invoice for 3 bottles. Done. Oh, okay, I came in. No, I didn't sell much wine pairing this weekend. So, you only have, you down 1 bottle. So he comes in, he replaces 1 bottle. I paid on 1 bottle.
That's so easy.
Wholesale.
That's good for small restaurants, too.
Very, very good for small restaurants.
Storage?
No storage. I have a 1 fridge. Bro, I only have a 1 fridge that holds 100 bottles in. Maybe a little bit more. But 100 and something. And that's that. And then I got a small little low boy that has all the fucking open wine with their, with their corked on, and that's that. And so it's to say that. So Brian does that. So now, of course, there is a disadvantage with that in a sense because, right, he is doing his thing. So therefore, right, he only kind of like gives us the wine that he has. So, of course, sometimes we'll get another wine head that comes in and bitch about, yo, you guys are in Sonoma, and then you have no Cali wine on the fucking menu, And also, bro, as a chef and business owner, because of how my team is built, I don't micromanage. My relationship with my team is based on trust. I trust you guys to do the best that you can in the front of the house and make sure the customers are good. I don't have a manager. I don't have a general manager. No, it's like, no, I trust Jesse. I trust Danny. I trust Jackie to move this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And do the thing. And they do very well at it, And it's the same thing with Brian. So when we're tasting wine, I'm just tasting very good wine. And then, I'm like, bro, I just want to taste the wine. I'm not going to sell it. I'm not a wine head. I don't have any brain space to memorize which grapes, vineyard, year, where it was bottled. No, I taste it. That's just fucking bomb. It goes well with the tiramisu. Let's go.
By Chef Stephane.
Hey,
right
man.
there. That's how you taste wine, baby.
Hey,
That's
bro.
a good way to do it.
Hey, that's that, And then so now, when a wine head comes in and then they make that remark, and I said, oh, okay. Wait, there's no Cali? Brian, there's no Cali wine on the fucking menu? He's like, well, no. Well, nothing much. I'm like, come on, Brian. You need to do some research.
Yeah.
Like, go out there and taste something, bro. Like, it'd be good for you anyways, And Brian, and he responds to that. Okay, all right. So he goes and he fucking look at, he calls his wine people. They come in, they all do their little tasting or whatever. He's like, okay, Steph, I found a good wine. Good Cali. Okay. Here's your Cali wine.
Yeah.
And that's that until we move to the next menu. And that's that. And then, other than that, yes, you do have some Cali, you do have some French, you do have some Italian by the bottle that you can buy and stuff like that. Usually is a tasting menu when that comes up. Like, we'll have a tasting menu. It's like, I guess, all French sometimes. I'm like, bro, it tastes good. It tastes good. I tasted that shit. It tastes fucking good, bro. I don't know what we're talking about. Like, here,
Right. Like, it doesn't have to be a journey around the fucking world.
Come on, bro. Like, okay, I get it.
Right.
Yes, we are in Sonoma, and I agree with you 1,000%.
Right.
And sorry to all the wineheads that's going to hear this and think I'm just fucking ignorant about this shit. But I'm sorry, man. I'm a fucking chef, so I taste what's good on the fucking palate.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? If Occidental, from fucking Steel Pilsner 2018 is fucking great, bro, then the only reason I say that's one of my favorite wine.
Yeah.
I don't even really know motherfuckers like that, but I really don't. But hey, listen, bro, I'll see it and I'll be like, oh, that shit is fucking splendid, bro. I'm like, yo, Brian, what's up with that, man?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's it, man. Everything else, I have a buddy of mine who was a big wine head in France, and he has a Michelin star. And I remember him coming in, and my man was just going in on Brian, bro. It's like, wow, this, that. I'm like, yo, PJ. I'm like, fuck, bro, did it not taste good? It's like, well, yeah, it tastes good, but, I'm like, okay, like, bro, I don't have time for this shit.
Yeah.
Do you want me to ship you the fucking wine list and you can try it over there and then you let me know? I'm like, I get it, bro. Like, I get the importance of it, but, like, you got to understand, too, man. I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Brian puts it. I tried it. It was good. Okay, it's good. Now, if you say there's, something you can do, bro, bring it. Bring it. We'll try it. If it's that good, bro, I'm the first one to tell you, yo, that's fucking good. Put that shit on the menu.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how, so to answer your question is like Brian runs the wine program. And, although sometimes we do complain about him, but that's my man.
Hey, man.
And guess what, bro? That's the sum. I don't pay him.
Oh, son. So he's just doing it out of passion.
Yeah. He comes, bro. That's his cave.
Yeah.
Get about it. Just think about it. The more wine he sells, the more wine he has to sell me. That's his money. So
yeah. So he figured it out, bro.
Oh, yo, well, I'm telling you, bro.
He figured it out.
I'm telling you, bro. So those guys be like, sometimes they'll take advantage of it. Yo, chef, you think you can call Brian tonight? I was like, okay, how many covers we got? I got like 30. I was like, all right, I'll call Brian. yo, Brian, what are you doing tonight, B? So, oh, I'm not doing anything. He goes to bed at 9 o'clock anyways, bro. He's an old head.
Yeah,
I love him, bro. Yeah, that's my guy. You know, my son calls him Grandpa. My son calls him Grandpa. You know, I was like, yo, that's my man. You know, I was like, yo, Brian, can you work tonight, bro? He's like, yeah. I'll come in.
Yeah.
That's his thing. You know, he comes in and he gets to be the house, you know what I mean, the wine director, and he talks about his wine and he sells his wine, and then he moves the bottle and then he refills the bottle.
Yeah.
He gets paid. I don't need to have him apparel. I don't need to have him anything.
Yeah.
It's like,
there you go, bro.
yeah, you know, little game.
All you chefs out there start hating on them now, bro. They're just like, this motherfucker don't pay this person. He don't do this.
Hey, bro.
His kitchen's small.
Hey, man. Shit.
$150,000, bro.
Hey, man. They'll be all right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they'll be all right. You know.
I think you got lucky, bro. I mean, not lucky, man. You fucking work for that shit.
I did.
Also, like Della Fattoria, you did a lot of time there. How long were you there?
Yeah, so I did Della in 2 sequences. So I did the first 2 years, 2008 to 2010.
Yeah.
And then 2010 is when I moved to Europe for 5 years. And then I came back in 2015, and I did that until 2019.
Got you.
Yeah.
And so they're a sourdough house,
Yep,
right?
yep.
And they fire all their sourdough with fire, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you know, wood fire oven.
They're like cooking it.
Yep. They're baking their wood fire. You know, it's under, you know, the family's property.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, Della has. There are guys out there today that are big time fucking bakery. They're Della's product. You know, if you don't believe me, ask Daniel Patterson. He'll tell you.
Yeah, right. Like, you know, all the tartine dudes and all that shit,
bro. I mean, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot. You go to you can fly to Copenhagen. The guy that's dominating the bread thing over there
Came from Della Fattoria.
Richard.
What? Damn, this place has put out talent all over the
Yo,
world,
I'm
bro.
telling you, man.
What is it about it?
It's
Because I made sourdough before, but like, what's the?
Well, for me, I mean, I don't know. Not for me. I can't say for me, but I don't know. Maybe it was the timing of things, you know? I mean, you know, Della's been... So Della was formed in...
Charlie worked there for a little while. Charlie Apple, my boy.
Oh, did he?
From Meadowwood, yeah.
Oh, yes.
He worked there for 2 years.
Yes, he did. He did. Yeah, he did. I remember he was telling me that. But yeah, I mean, you know, Kathleen and Aaron started, I think it was like in the 90s. And their first account was the French Laundry in restaurant. I think it was like, I don't know if they were the first, but I know they were one of the maybe first artisanal bakers that supplied restaurant, you know. And if I'm not talking nonsense, I think the story was that TK used to use this bakery, and then he was serving this olive bread.
Yeah.
And then one night, a slice of the olive bread went to the dining room. A client, bit into that thing and got a fucking olive pit. And so Aaron was I don't know if it was a stage or if he was cooking there, but I know he spent about like 6 months there.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then the thing was like, he's like, hey Weber, doesn't your mom bake bread? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, yo, you think she can deliver bread tomorrow? I was like, yeah. And then boom, the restaurant account thing started formed. And then Della and then, you know, and then they did I think they're the one that developed I think their signature bread is the lemon rosemary. Which, by the way, fucking phenomenal. I mean, you know, from the scoring to like, it's like a crown, bro. And then like, dude, when this thing comes out of the oven, you could literally snap the thing like a fucking cracker.
That's crazy.
And eat it. It's it's fucking crazy. And so,
how much bread are you producing there a day? Like,
I mean, I don't know. Like, it was never, you know, a massive, you know, they had just had some very nice big accounts, you know, like, you know, I know Mr. Benjamin for a while was carrying their bread. And, you know.
What's that fucking place smell like? That starter.
Dog.
It's
fucking
awesome.
awesome.
And I mean, embers and fucking.
So again, bro, so there's two, so, you know, Della is in two part, you know, so you have one which is at the ranch where the family basically stays, and then that's where they have the wood fire oven.
Okay.
So that's that. And then you have Della, who's downtown, and then where now they have like this massive kind of like, it's like a brick oven, I guess, you know, But that's where they also do all the pastries and all of these things, you know. So you have these two different. So when you go to the ranch, that's where they also mix the dough. But you know, I think they have, but also like things has changed a little bit. So I know like now when you go, you'll see Della on the boulevard is on 3 different buildings. And then so you have the cafe, you have the big, you know, retail space, and there's a small space right next to it. I think that's where now they do all of the, you know, starter mixers and all of these things. And so, but like, yeah, but when I was there, you know, again, I always worked at the cafe. So I was always like, you know, making, you know, bum ass, you know, the sandwiches and the toast and, you know, and things like that. And then, you know, as I kind of like moved up, you know, with the family and stuff like that, especially when I came back in 2015, because I was living at the ranch with the family.
Yeah.
You know, then
the trailer, the famous trailer.
Yeah, the trailer. We had the house. We had a little house. That's where Rachel was staying.
Yeah.
And then so we ended up getting this one, my wife, and but we would go and do so sometimes I would have to go and do the mix in the morning. So I had to wake up at, you know, 5:30, go down, get the first mix going, you know. So my show was like 5:30 to 1:30 p.m.
What are you doing with the discard on that when you feed the starter and shit?
So I never fed the starter. So I never touched the starter. So the starter was always fed the night before by the closing bakers. Okay. You know, so when I show up, the starter is done. It's ready to go. Exactly. It's bubbling. It's ready to go.
What's the texture of that starter? Is it thicker or is it watery?
No, it's thicker.
It's thicker.
Yeah. Nice, thick. You know,
gotcha. Yeah.
Octopus style. You know,
I use some that are like a little watery.
Yeah, no. More in a thicker, you know, moist. Pause. You know, then you know, then water, then wet. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But you know, but again, I mean, yeah, when you do walk into that thing, man, the smell. At night when they're bringing the oven up to temp for the next day, so they're burning that wood, you know what I mean?
They burn the oven at night.
They feed the oven through the night.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so you have a first feed that goes at I think it's like 11-ish, and then Mr. Ed, you know, at the time at least, Aaron's dad, like he would wake up every day at 3 a.m. give it another feed. And then Raul would come in the morning at 6 a.m. and give it another feed. And then at 1, the first baker arrived. I think they'd give it a last little feed. And then by fucking 3:30, that shit's hot and just cranking fucking bread out.
Yeah, dude.
You know, easily. It depends on the day. You know, I think there are days we're doing like 1,000 loaves, you know. But it was never really this like massive, crazy operation. You know, it was always like artisanal, you know, small.
People that have worked there probably worked there forever.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. One of those places, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, there are guys, you know, that left the baking game, man, and very unfortunate, you know. I'm like, dude, if you knew the power that you had, you know, the skill that you have on your hand, bro, like, you know, for the amount of time that you work there, you know, it's one of those things, you know, you don't lose it, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, even me, shit, bro, like I haven't been in there for years, but like, you'll put me in that fucking room to start mixing bread again, I'll pick that shit up like a fucking, you know, in a couple of days, easy, you know. And you know, there's all those techniques to it, and like, you know, you're following these like rhythms, and you know, it's all these crazy things, you know, making sure the room is at proper temperature and water is at temperature, and you know,
what made you go to Europe for that stint?
So Europe was, you know, how old was I? I was like 26, 25 maybe, 25, 26, and I needed a change, you know. I think at that point, so I'm not the chef that like grew up with his grandma, with his mom cooking.
Me either, bro.
Bro, I got inspired by this man named, I think his name was like Greg or some shit like that, but like he was the first winner of Top Chef. Bravo. Harold.
You talk about Harold, bro.
Harold.
Shout out to Harold. We need to get his ass on the show,
Listen,
bro.
man, Harold was the first. That was Harold was
we need to get Harold on the
bro,
show. Bro.
Harold was my man.
Yeah, for sure. He opened mad restaurants.
Yeah, I bet.
He had to close them all. I'm like, that made me realize, I'm like, the losers actually win more than the winner. When you're the winner and they make you open up a fucking restaurant,
yeah,
that's the death of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now they don't do that. They just give you money.
Yeah. You just go do it. Yeah. Hey. Harold, man, that's Top Chef Bravo, bro.
Yeah, like, dude. That show was rough.
Bro, that show was rugged. Man, when I saw the thing that this guy was putting, I was like, oh, man, that's nice. Yeah. That's kind of a nice skill to have. Yeah. And so, yeah, so again, you know, so I never had that. You know, I moved here in the States at 17 from Haiti. And so if everybody know Haitian parents from the Caribbean, it's, you know, a doctor, you know, a nurse, you know, a lawyer. You know, if you had one that was very ambitious, like, it'd be like, yo, can you be a president, like a diplomat or something? Right. And, you know, and so
I
me.
Be a cook.
Yeah. Bro, I show up.
Fuck out of here.
Bro. Oh, you're so lazy. Yeah. I was like, yo,
how can you be lazy?
It's like, you're so lazy. It's like, you want to be a cook? What the fuck? And then my mom hits me with that line. It's like, well, you got to be born a chef to be a chef.
Oh.
The dagger, bro.
She gave you that Michael Jordan slight.
Yo, the dagger, bro. And I was like, okay, all right, okay, well, you know, whatever.
What do they say now?
But hey, listen, man, you know, shout out to moms. Hey, listen.
They're still not happy with you?
No,
you should have been a doctor.
Well, she funded Europe. So,
okay.
So, no. So the family, well, it's not really the family. It was really my mom. You know, my mom was bugging, you know, like she was kind of like bugging about this thing. And so, you know, again, like I said, they thought I was lazy, which, you know, was somewhat true. I was just not the school type of guy. You know, I don't want to sit on a bench and learn. And so anyway, so I moved here at 17 and did my last year of high school in Marin. And then so then I was going to like College of Marin, you know? Yeah. So I was like taking like business class. And then so I did that for a semester. I had this homie, Dan, like one day he hit me up and he's like, you know, while I'm in like, you know, this community college, he calls me, he's like, yo, Steph, you want to come to the house and kick it? You know, I was smoking my pot at the time anyways. And then I'm like, oh, sure. I'm like, no, I can't, bro. Like, I got school, you know? Yeah. It's like, so what, bro? Skip school. I'm not skip school. I'm like, no, dude. I'm not trying to get in trouble, bro. Like, you know, fucking principal's going to call my mom. And it's like, fool. You're in fucking community college, man. What are you talking about? You're 18 years old, bro. Like, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
The principal's
I'm like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, dude. They don't fucking call your parents, you know, because I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, you sure? He's like, bro, yo, come to the house. Yeah. And bro, the rest was history. Yeah. I never stepped foot in that school again. And so, of course, then, you know, they start saying, yo, where are your grades at? Yeah. So every day, you know, I get up, I get ready. You know, I got my backpack.
What the fuck? How long were you doing that for?
For a semester. I jump in the Honda. Man, I mobbed to Dan's house, bro. It'd be fucking 10 o'clock. We're smoking pot, bro. Yeah. By 1, his mom comes home. There were Asian families, so they put like a little rice cooker or whatever. Yeah. And we'll sit here and munch rice. And then 4 o'clock, bro, because that's what my schedule was like. You know, 4 o'clock, I go back home and, oh, yeah, I was cool today. Oh, that was great.
Wow.
You know, next day, the same shit.
Well, she's going to know now.
Oh, no, she already knew. Okay, bro, I'm like 18, you know what I mean? So it's just like, yo, wait. It's like, okay, so what's going on here? Because, so what, you don't do tests? You don't, where your grades at, you know? So that's how I got busted, you know what I mean? And then so a cousin of mine moved in town. He was into music a lot. So we go to his buddy, make beats all day. Yeah. Just like, you know, anyway, just fucking around, man. And then so at the house, my family, my aunties were all a lot into like, you know, very, you know, sorry, I'm missing the word here.
No worries.
They are very, not Catholic, but
Episcopalian. Religious.
Religious. Religious, right? Spiritual. Yeah. Spiritual is a better word. And so we had the pastor, and I was staying with us, and one day, the pastor was like, so I started watching Top Chef, you know, so I'm seeing my man Harold just knocking motherfuckers out, right? Mm-hmm. And then so So he goes and he's like, yo, Steph, I need to talk to you or whatever. And I'm like, hey, what's up? He's like, you know, your family's worried about you. You know, it's like, yo, what's up? You know, so you're not going to school and this and that. And he's like, you know, do you have anything of interest? You know? And I'm like, I don't know. You know, I like music, you know, because I've been going to my cousin's homies, making beats all day, you know. So I'm like, yeah, I like music, maybe sound engineering, you know. But I've also been, you know, I think cooking is pretty interesting, you know, because I've been watching this Top Chef thing. And then he's like, well, do you know that there's a school in the city, you know, a culinary school in the city? And I was like, oh, no. He's like, well, you know, maybe you should go and look into it. So it was the California Culinary Academy, which was a cordon bleu program back in 2005.
Got it.
Right? So I was like, well, almost 20 years ago. And so, you know, he's like, yeah, you know, the school's very good. So, you know, maybe you should call him and set up an appointment and see what's up. So I did that. So then I went to the school. And, bro, I remember, man, I'm showing up to that school. And then, like, when you go into the academy, there was, like, you know, you go up the stairs. There's, like, a corridor first, like, kind of like entrance, corridor kind of looking spot before you walk into the school's restaurant. And then so there was this French pastry chef that was, like, setting up all these, like, petit fours. But, I mean, I'm telling you, bro, that shit was, like, fucking art, dude. I was like, man, that thing looks so sick, you know? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, all right. So, you know, so I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I can get interest in this school thing. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, you know, let me go. You know, and then so my mom didn't approve that. And she's like, well, shit, bro, listen, either you do what I tell you to do or you get the fuck out. And then so I was like, okay. So I call my fucking auntie and I'm like, auntie, mom is bugging. You know, she doesn't want me to stay here, you know, because of school. Can I come stay at your house? And so my auntie's like, yeah, come over. So I stay at my auntie's. And so it was two of my aunties. They both live right next to each other. And then the pastor went and, like, made a case. And then she was, like, talking to him. She's like, yeah, but you never know if that's what it is. You guys should go pray about it. Yeah. See what the Lord tells you and blah, blah. You know? And then, you know, one of my aunties got up and she was like, okay, yeah, the Lord told me to, you know, co-sign this loan for you. Yeah. So I was like, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord.
Yeah, right? So that was that. So I went and I did the program for a year, 12 months, 3 months internship. That's how I ended up in Palm Springs. Because that was my first stage. Got it. So ended up in Palm Springs, did very well in my stage for 3 months. Stage was done, got offered a job. I stayed. And then the lodge closed because they were doing some renovation. But life was a little wild for me in Palm Springs. So I was like, all right, bro, I got to get out of here. And so then I get out and I moved to Miami. So I go to Miami. A cousin of mine was working at a restaurant, French restaurant, on Key Biscayne. Yeah. And then so I go and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I cook, whatever, you know. And he's like, okay, here's a job. And, you know, it was a cool little gig. You know, I make good money because they can pay me under the table. And, you know, so I did that for a little bit. And then Miami life got a little out of hand. And I'm like, okay, I got to come back to Cali. So I come back to Cali. And it's on my way to Cali. So I call my mom. And so, of course, you know, so I'm in Miami, you know, I grow dreads. Yeah. You know, fucking piercing. I'm like, you know, a little hooligan-looking motherfucker. And so I'm moving back, and, you know, I call my mom, and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to come home. And she's like, okay, all right, well, shit, cut your hair. And then I'll buy the ticket, and then we'll take it from there. Yeah. And I said, all right. So, you know, I cut my hair, and then my mom flies me back to Cali. And I get in, and she's like, okay, well, you know the routine, man. You know. You're not staying here if you think you're going to keep doing this cooking thing. And I was like, okay, here we go. And I'm like, okay, all right, well, maybe I'll go look for another job, you know. So then I trying to be a banker at Washington Mutual back then. Wow. Right? And then so I go to this job interview. Well, before I went to the job interview, as I'm kind of like trying to figure it out, but I needed to get a job. So I was like, well, you know, I know how to cook. You know, that's what I know how to do. Maybe I should just go work at a restaurant, you know, in transition. Yeah. So
you already lied to her about going to school. You already might as well lie to her about working at the bank.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, all right. I mean, you know, you want me to pay rent? You want me to do all these things? I'm like, okay. So we're living in Novato, and then so there was like 2 restaurants, sister restaurant. It was like still exists, Finnegan Bar. The owner used to have a spot called Kitchen 868. Yeah. Kitchen 86 is like kind of like what it went by. And then so I went there. It was more fine dining, small, open kitchen. So I did that, and I got fired. The first and only job I ever got fired. But, Sucio was a fucking dick, I'll tell you that much. And so, so of course, bro, I show up. I'm like, yeah, I got fired from this one. So for my mom, it's a fucking victory lap. It's like, oh, I told you.
I told you weren't good at this.
You know what I mean? Gotta be born a chef to be a chef. I told you. I'm like, okay, so you believe me now? So, so I'm like, all right, so that's how Washington Mutual came about. I'm like, all right, let me go to this banking thing. So I walk to Washington, I walk out from an interview, and then a buddy of mine who was working at Della hit me up. Abe, so we went to culinary school together. So Abe hit me up. He's like, yo, dude, so I have to go to Southern California. I need your help. I'm like, what's up? He's like, yo, I got this restaurant. I was like, oh, time out. I can't do it, Abe. He's like, what? I was like, bro, I'm out. I'm out the game.
Yeah.
I'm done, bro. Those are the conditions for me to live out. And he's like, Steph, I'm telling you, bro, fucking, come check this shit out. It's everything you always talked about in culinary school, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, but can't do it, B. He's like, yo, come on. Can you at least help me out for the weekend in transition?
Right.
So I'm like, all right, dude, I guess I'll help you for the weekend, but I can't promise you any of this shit, And bro, and then, Saturday morning, I go for my stage, and here we go. I walk into this fucking building, which was, at the time, Della was in this one building. And so small little front, and I walk in the kitchen, dog, and I was like, oh my God. Big ass fucking kitchen, high ceiling, hot line is on one side, and the other side was the pastry line, all marble tables. I mean, bro, I'm telling you, it was like an eye-opening situation, and so I was like, all right, so I do my stage on the first night, and then I do my stage on the second day. I come back on Sunday to do my other stage, and the sous chef and the baristas and a group of cooks, they're all on the fucking rooftop of the restaurant, blowing it up. I'm like, oh shit, that's my kind of party. He was like, yo, you want to join? I'm like, oh, whoa, I'm a stagiaire, bro. I'm not even hired yet, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I don't know if I should. He's like, yo, it's all good, dude. The owner's going to come anyways. I'm like, what? It is. So then Aaron pulls up. He's like, oh, yeah, it's all good, dude. He's like, yo, motherfuckers are just chiefing up there.
Yeah.
My little cousin's waiting for me outside. Yo, my little cousin is there. He's like, oh, does he smoke? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yo, bring him over. I'm like, oh, fucking great, bro. So so here we are fucking chiefing, and then I get invited to their house, which was the ranch. I pull up, the whole team is there, and then these fools every Sunday after work, they'd be at the ranch at Aaron, smoking trees and playing Mario Kart. That was the thing. And I'm like, and then of course, I see, that's how I got introduced to Della. And then I see the ranch, and I see the whole family lives there, and I see where the bread is being baked. I see the farm, So it's like, there's like a whole new spectrum of life, that basically opened up right in front of me.
Like you could be a part of.
Exactly, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, all right, that's dope. I'm like, that's fucking sick as fuck. I'm like, yo, wait, what? I can smoke after work here. Of course, the one thing, oh, shit, what am I going to say? I'm like fucking 22, 23-year-old, And so, so I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll take the job,
Yeah.
So then I call my cousin. I'm like, yo, B. So his barber. I'm like, yo, B. She was living in Qatar. I'm like, yo, listen, so your auntie's bugging. I found this job, and I think I want to take it, but I can't stay at the house. And she's like, oh, it's all good, bro. I got a room downstairs for you, $500 a month. It's like, oh, bet. Fucking show up to the house. I'm like, yeah, so I just came out from this kitchen, and my mom's like, oh, here we go again, and I'm going to take the job. Yeah. And she's like, well, you know the rules? I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. I already spoke to B. I'm moving in with B. And she was like, oh, okay, well, shit, bye. So I, pack my shit. I moved to my cousin, and that's how I was at Della. So 2 years, when I'm at Della, I meet this French guy who was a friend of the family who was a restaurateur. So this guy had a restaurant in Sonoma called La Poste, which was very popular back in the late 80s, maybe early 90s. And also he opened a couple restaurants in the city, which one of them I think was Café des Arts, which is by Chinatown-ish. So anyway, so we meet and stuff, and he's like, yo, what are you doing here? Fucking cooking sandwiches and making salads, He's like, yo, I think you're a very skilled guy, you should kind of he's like, how long you been here? I'm like, yeah, 2 years. He's like, oh, okay, well, every 2 years you need to find a new job. That's the, kitchen rule, you know? And he's like, yeah, you need to go venture and see other things and stuff like that. So, of course, I'm sure the family was low-key pissed about that, right? Because this guy's putting things in my head. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's what it is. But again, French, I speak French. So, we're just bonding, we're just connecting, whatever. So I'm like, all right, well, let me go see what's up with this. And then, so I kind of like went around, did a couple of bullshit jobs. And then one day he calls me. And then he's like, hey, I'm opening up a restaurant in Sonoma, downtown Sonoma, and I need a chef, can you come and help me out? And I'm like, oh, sure, Francois, I'll pull up. So I show up, so here it is like, so he's basically remodeling the whole thing, and it was called Centre du Vin. So it was like the wine center. It was like right downtown Sonoma at Letson Winery. Mm-hmm. And then so I'm like, all right, dude. So, so he opens up the spot. And then he just throws me in the fucking kitchen. And then, so here I am in the kitchen by myself. Well, actually, it was the two of us. So there was another lady who was, one of the clean lady upstairs also cooking. And so, and it was just the two of us, bro. And, and it was like fairly slow through the week. But every like Friday night, we do like a special dinner. And that bitch would be swamped. But then I'm like a one-man show back there cooking for like 50 people, bro. And so, so I'm like, I'm doing my best, and so I do the job. So then he gets into the way with the owner. He gets fired, but then they keep me. So I'm like, doing my thing or whatever. And then an article comes out about the restaurant, and it was this lady, I don't even remember. She worked for the Sonoma Tribute or whatever newspaper, and then so she writes this whole article about her experience at the restaurant, how great, and she walked in, and smelling the chicken stocks and the this and the that and the third. But then Francois' name was the only name on the article. But I don't. Maybe I'm just naive, I don't care. I don't know, like whatever, But then I share the article with my mom, and I'm like, yo, dude, look at that. And then she reads it, and she's like, what was your name? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, what? And she's like, you've been doing all this work there, and the article come out, they don't mention your name, they don't this, they don't that, and blah, blah. And then, that's her, but of course, but that's her mind changing, right? Because now she's like accepting the fact that I'm a chef, because all of this is, that's like, literally like 2 years, 3 years after I moved out of the house, moving to Cali, So, so of course we've been in contact, there was never any done relationship. We just couldn't live together, that's what it was. And so we're like, okay, all right, cool, man. Like, so I'm like, yeah, I don't know, shit, I don't know if it's Francois' fucking restaurant, Like, but you're the chef, you're the this, you're the that, blah, blah. And so then she's like, well, okay, well, you seem to be the one that takes this cooking thing very serious. Because again, I have cousins, they were all doctors, realtors, or at least they went to school for things like that, business and all this nonsense, and they were all dropped out, and they all went and ended up working at fucking Chevy's or some other nonsense. Nobody really stayed their courses, as much as I did through my career, through me coming up. And then so, and I guess like she kind of like mentioned it was something to admire, I guess, if you want to say. And then so she's like, okay, well, it looks like you're taking this thing very serious. I think you should go to Friends. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, yeah, you should. So I have an auntie that lives in France. I lives in Bourgogne. So I call her, and I'm like, yo, Lola, I want to come to France, and come check this shit out. And she's like, yeah, come, come and stay with me, 3 months, whatever. And so, but again, I'm like, at this point, I'm like 25, still kind of like naive about things. I don't know how things really work. So then I move to France. Then I show up to France. And first off, I go to Paris, bro. And I had one of the worst dining experiences in my life.
Really?
Yeah. I had like one of these little bistro, very high tourist. Bro, worst experience in my life. Food was just trash. Bro, I ordered a fucking ice cream cookie sandwich. The thing literally came in a package. In Paris. In the little fucking white package. Open and eat. right? I'm like, oh, okay, all right, this is what I'm coming to, huh? And then so I'm like, okay, so now let me go try to get a job. So I try to get a job, but then next thing you know, I don't have any documents.
Yeah.
So that's not, again, me not doing my research. I'm just showing up thinking I can just work anywhere, So it's like, nah, you ain't got no documents. You ain't got no documents. I said, okay. So then I leave Paris. I go to Bourgogne to my aunt, and I'm talking to her husband, and he's like, okay, so you want to do this cooking thing here, huh? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, there's a school in south of France in Lyon called the Institut of Paul Bocuse, and it's a very prestigious school. It's very difficult to get in. But if you can manage to get in, they will give you a student visa. And with the student visa, you can actually work. And I was like, okay, interesting. And he's like, yeah, so, you should call the school and see. So I called the school. So, mind you, I didn't even know who the fuck Paul Bocuse was, right? So I go and I do my research.
They're like,
right?
Hey, is Paul there?
Yeah, for real, right? So I go, I do my research, and I see this fucking, Collonges 3 Michelin star.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, guy is just the way he runs the kitchen is just a machine, like, right? There, like, YouTube stuff where, like, he's shutting down the kitchen, like, every night, bro. The only thing that was in the kitchen was the stock for the next morning. But the rest of the fucking fridge was, like, empty, right? And I'm like, okay, all right. So I called the school. I set up a fucking appointment. Then, a couple days later, I go for an interview. So I show up. I do my interview. But again, I'm like this, American kid, or Haitian American with, all this, somewhat experience, because I have been cooking through to my time, and, and I spoke French very well. And she's like, okay, so, so I go in, I pass my thing, and then they're like, okay, so, so it was, so at the time, I think the school's a little bigger now, but at the time, there was only 400 students at the school, okay? Only 10 out of 100 were chosen each semester to attend the school. So it's a large, ratio. And so, so I go and I do my thing, and, I do my interview, then I fly back home, and the day that I land, I get an email saying that I was admitted to the school. And I'm like, oh, great. So I fucking walk in the airport, I walk out, and I'm showing my mom, I'm like, got the email, I got accepted to the school. And then she's like, all right, well, shit, I got some money for you. So, why don't you just go ahead and take care of whatever you have to. So I had to take care of my visa stuff. So I stayed in Miami, because I met her in Miami, because we're going on a little trip. So I stayed in Miami, got all my documents in order. From Miami, I just took the plane. All right, 2 weeks ago, right back to France. And then so that's how I ended up being. So the school was like 3 years, and so it was really 2.5, but I was able to extend it to about 3.5, because so I did 2 years. In my second year, I took an opportunity where I could go do an internship in management in China. So I went to Shanghai for a year, and the goal was to train Chinese students the fundamental of art and culinary, of French culinary. So, and then that thing was like it was like an expo it's a World Expo program that was created back in 2010. And then so basically the school each semester would send, or maybe every other semester they would send a number of students from France to China to stay there. You are learning management, and the kids are, or the students are learning the fundamental of French culinary. And so, which, I believe, which was one of the best moves I've ever made, because that's what helped me be very good at management, Bro, imagine I show up, so we had 80, so there's 5 of us. It's me and 4 of my homies, right? And so there's 5 of us, and we had 80 Chinese students. So the way that the curriculum is set up is that you spend 2 months in garde manger, 2 months in fish, 2 months in meat, 2 months in meat, 2 months in pastry, and 3 months in ordering, organizing, and all of those things. And then but it's one person, so it's one student that goes in each different department, and then you're moving with about, I think it was like 16 students, through the motion of things. These guys, they don't speak. no English, and I don't speak no Mandarin or Chinese or whatever they speak, So so everything is like repetition. No. You have maybe one kid that knows a little bit about English.
Right.
And his name was Cena because he was a big fan of John Cena.
Okay.
So they all have like American names, And then so it was like, so
good name.
Yeah, it was Cena, because he loved John Cena. And then so he was in my group, and then so he would help me out, kind of like, translate things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I been at Sweden a year, and then with my buddies, and then I moved back then I went back, did my last year, and then from my last year, then I took a job in Copenhagen. So there was a mission star in Copenhagen, and I spent about a year and a half. Copenhagen came about, I was thinking about working in Dubai, but then I met my wife now, who was my girlfriend back then, at the school, and then she's from Poland. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm feeling this little shorty. I'm like, you know what?
I took the walk.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling this little shorty here. I'm like, but yeah, right. I mean, 2014. Who's dominating the game at that time in Europe is the Danish.
Yeah, that's right.
Noma,
That's right.
Geranium.
Where were you at?
So I went to a spot called Kokeriet. So it was a small 1 Michelin, and it was one of the the chef was the only chef that didn't come from like a Noma background, but they also only did like so it was a Danish, traditional Danish cuisine, but revisited in the fine dining aspect. And so so I went there, and there was that, and then another one that drew my attention. But a buddy of mine wanted to go, and then I don't know, whatever. This didn't fall through, but it was Amas. So Amas was Chef Matt Orlando.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That dude's a boss.
Bro, Amas was killing. I mean, dog.
Amas would be #1 restaurant right now.
I'm sure.
If they were open. I'm sure, man. I'm sure that's his time right now. Everybody else but shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I'm telling you, man, Amas. And then so Amas was, big warehouse and the graffitis on the fucking wall. And I'm like, bro, this guy's doing some crazy things. And so anyway, so my buddy, Serge, wanted to go work there. And anyways, we got an opportunity. So he got it, but he ended up not going. So I found this other spot. So I went to that other spot, which was the Mission one. And then so I stayed there for about a year and a half. And then after a year and a half, I was on I'm like, okay, dude, I kind of want to stay. I'm seeing myself with this girl. I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm trying to, I'm not, my mom was all for it. She's like, yeah, you should just stay in Europe, and then kind of like continue your shit in Europe. But my student visa ended up expiring. So it was kind of difficult for me to find a work visa. It was a whole process, And then Della at the time, who had just got the building right next to them, they were looking into expanding. And then that's how like they reached out and said, oh, listen, we're expanding the Della or whatever. And, and me and Aaron had a very, very tight relationship at that point. Aaron came into my graduation school and then we like traveled Europe together, so we were really, we've been really, really tight, so it was really family, And then so he's like, yo, Steph, we're opening up the spot. I'd love for you to be here and help me. That's a great way for you to take all your skills and knowledge and come in. Your house, man. You get to come and run the joint. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, all right, I'm trying to figure this thing out. My visa's expiring. It's either I marry this girl, or I move back or I work illegal.
Yeah.
And then so I was like, all right, you know what? Let me move back home. And then so that's how I got back here in 2015. And then so came in. So when I pulled up here, then Della had just got the building. So they were still kind of going through all the, political bullshit, about like, opening up a new spot and this and that and a third. But also, so 2015, 2016, man, one of the toughest time of my career, because, here I was coming from these very like crazy kitchens, high standard, army-like run, because while I was in France, I worked in a couple Michelin stars also, so I'm like dealing with like, it's real over there, like the labor, the chef, the commis to CDP relationship, boy, is CDPs are basically your bosses. You know what I mean? If you're a little commis or if you're a CDP, you're dealing with sous chefs, right?
Yeah.
The hierarchy, the grade is like
everybody's just getting yelled at.
Oh, bro, I'm telling you, dog. I mean, oh my god, dude, this shit was so fucking abusive, man. Like, I mean, dude, I am who I am today because of that. I never quit, from anything, but like, I mean, that shit was no joke.
Yeah.
Oh my god, these guys were fucking lunatics, and so. I mean, bro, I had a chef, bro. This motherfucker looked just like the Grinch.
Yeah.
Smile like Grinch, bro. It's like this guy's looking at us, your foie gras. You're like, oh, I mean, it was fun. It was fun. It was tough. I got a lot of, I got a great education out of it. I got a very, strong chef personality out of that.
Yeah.
But it was, abusive. And so moving back here, bro, to Della. So then Della's not open yet. So I'm back in the bakery.
You're like, shut the fuck up.
Dude.
And they're like, dude.
No, bro, but I mean, come on, dog. You know the game here, right? It's like I fucking show up with all this thing, and then I'm working with Chico.
Yeah.
You know Chico is not going to take that shit from me,
No,
bro.
hell no, bro.
You know Freddie's not taking. You know Baracho's not taking that. None of these. I was like, what?
He's just going to give you silent treatment.
Oh, nah, bro. Chico is about that life. He'll take you out to the alley and fuck a motherfucker up, for talking to him wrong or looking at him wrong. You know what I mean? And that's what I was coming from.
Yeah.
It was like the adjustment of it, bro, was just like crazy for me because, I show up, I'm like, my mind is now, I'm basically to that, right? It's like, whoa, boom, boom, it's like army, it's everything, high standards, fast, right? Consistent and this. And then you're showing up here and then you see these guys are just like quiet, right? And these guys are fucking around. They don't give a fuck about this shit, or this and or that. And then so for me, it was a very, very hard adjustment. And and of course, so I got Chico to deal with, I got the family to deal with because, in the sense they're like, yo, you can't really do that here. You gotta, labor, how you treat people, lawsuit, it's like, yo, bro, it's a different world here,
Yeah, for sure, man.
And so, so that was hard. And then that's how I ended up showing up at Meadowwood. Because the Della thing was like, it was taking a little too long for me, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to keep, I feel like I'm losing skills, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like back in, and my mom is tripping. You did all of this to come back here to do this and that, and she's like, all this money, all this time you spent, that's what you're coming back here for? Make sandwiches,
Right.
And and of course, it's like, yeah, we're working gangs, we're trying to open this new restaurant. It's not going to be that. It's not going to, but, eventually, you kind of like, it gets old, and then so I was like, all right, bro. So when I came to Meadowwood, I was on the verge of leaving Della.
Yeah.
So I pulled up at Meadowwood. And I remember when I came, that's when Chef Costal was getting ready to open Charter Oak.
Yeah.
And so I remember, because that's why I had my interview with him.
Yeah.
Was at the Charter Oak, and he's like, so what do you want to be? You want to come here or you want to go to the 3 Michelin? I'm like, no, I'm going to the 3 Michelin. And he's like, oh, that was kind of fast. You didn't even think about it. I was like, no, I'm going to the 3 Michelin, chef. And he's like, oh, it's okay. I don't know if you can cook, but there's something about you that I like, And I was like, okay. And so then I got to meet the CDC at the time. We got married, right?
Cat.
Cat? Yeah.
Cat and John, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And so, and then that's how we met. And yeah, man. And then, my couple days that I spent there, it was a fucking breath of fresh air. That's where I needed to be. I feel like that was the spot where I needed to be at. And, until I remember you were working the pastry chef at the time. And we were working there, and then, because Chef Costal wasn't there the first day, but I think he came on the second or the third day. And he's like, so, I just got a call from Kathleen saying that you're off limit. What the fuck does that mean? And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I just got a phone from Kathleen. She said you're off limit. What the fuck does that mean? I'm like, well, I don't know, chef. Like, I'm not sure to tell you, man. Like, and And he's like, well, you need to go figure this shit out, and decide what you want to be. And I was like, okay. That was a big, big thing for me, So then I went back, talked to the family. No, the plan, we're supposed to open this and blah, blah. You can't go. My wife had just got pregnant with my son. And I had a decision to make, and of course, all these things got threw at me or whatever. And I was like, all right, bro, like, I found myself calling Chef Christopher, and I was like, yeah, Chef, I'm going to have to stay over here.
Yeah.
And he was like, and I tell him a reason, he's like, well, he's like, let me give you a word of advice, and he's like, people are going to tell you the things that they want you to hear just to persuade you to do what they want you to do. You're a smart guy. You'll figure it out. Don't lose my number. If you ever change your mind, call me.
Exactly.
And I was like, okay, all right, bet. So it was short, but I always had like mad respect, for the chef, after, kind of like basically giving me that. And then, I stuck around for about maybe another year. And then I was like, all right, dude, I'm out. And so that's like what, 2019? And as I'm leaving, I'm getting ready to call the chef to come to see if I can come back to Meadowwood. And then that's when the fire broke. And then the joint went down. I was like, oh, okay. Goes my luck. And really, like, I mean, I know, I'm still in Napa or whatever, but there was just something about Meadowwood, like, because, I could have gone to French Laundry, but there was just something about Meadowwood, man. And I was like, fuck, dude, I feel like that's the place I needed to be, and for me, it was that or nothing, but then, anyways, but then we went into the shuckery thing and COVID happened. TCP, so it all kind of like worked out in its own way.
Damn, bro.
But
straight up full circle story
man.
over here.
Yeah, man.
You're a good storyteller, man.
Yeah, man. How's that? Yeah. And so
right, dude. It's been a good one.
Yeah, man. I still
How
think
can they find you, bro? How can these people find you? Website, restaurant, address. That helps.
Okay. TC Provisions at TC Provisions on Instagram. 312 Petaluma Boulevard South, Petaluma, California, 94952.
Fuck
Chef
yeah, baby.
Stephane, St. Louis.
Woo! That was dope, man.
Thank you.
Dope story. Dope drive. Work ethic.
Thank you.
I hope things are better between you and your mom now.
Things are great.
Shout out to her. Maybe we can have her on the podcast. She can be like,
no,
you're doing this now? You know how to cook. You're doing this?
Yeah, you know about a lady to come out here.
Get your ass off the podcast and go cook.
Hey, man. I just like, I pay the bill now. So
there you go, bro. Well, I'm going to come in to you soon.
Please.
And I'll come check out your spot.
Yeah, man. Please
when you open it, the new spot.
Please
and,
do. Yeah,
you heard
in the
about
meantime,
first.
we'd love to have you.
So
I know you came you did the plateau.
Yeah,
the
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a different.
Yeah, I just had to check it out because I was like, I knew you from back in the day, and we always had a good relationship.
For sure.
So,
and that was old TCP, so you need to come and check out.
For sure,
TCP,
yeah, I'll check out new TCP.
So we'd love to have you.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, we love what you do. We're always following.
Dope. Thank you.
We're always following what you're doing.
Yeah. I appreciate it, man. For real. Looking to just bring chefs together, baby.
Yeah,
keep that chefdom alive.
Man, that's great.
Even if it's fucking a little abusive.
They'll get over it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Stephane's just gonna go berate his staff now. All right.
All right.
Peace out.
All right.
Oh shit.
Well, over? Oh yeah, I'm good.
2 hours and 60 minutes.
Ooh, nice. Just one.
Like my wax.
Yeah, man. Fuck it. Let them know.